Are you ready? Are you ready for the thrill of victory? Are you ready to taste victory? Are you ready to take your sports betting to a whole new level? Sit up, put your feet on the floor, because we have work to do. Welcome to the grind. Welcome to Cappers Nation, your weekly all things sports betting show. Tune in live every Thursday at 8 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Let us make you a more successful sports bettor.
I almost had the glasses on. Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cappers Nation Live, Thursday night football game day edition. It's going to be a great show today. It's going to be an action-packed, long show. So if you're here for the long haul, you better break out a pen and a paper because we are going to be breaking down some games. Not only are we going to hit Monday. I've been stuck on Monday Night Football. Thursday Night Football today between the Cowboys and the Bears. But we are also going to finish up our live look ahead on all the conference championship games later this week, including the Cincinnati-Memphis game, Hawaii, Boise State, Virginia, and Clemson, Utah, and Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game on Friday, Wisconsin, Ohio State in the Big Ten, LSU and Georgia in the all-or-nothing SEC championship game for Georgia, as well as the Big 12 championship between Baylor and Ohio State. So we're going to be breaking down all of those here in just a little bit. Yeah, Tom, I know I need to have our recorder redo that. I do appreciate that, though. But yeah, I know it's in the works of many things to do. Aaron, that's actually in the works. That is actually in the works. As well as more of his, well, not Michael, but Bruce. As well as more of his It's Time podcasts. It's Time show coming back to our YouTube channel, hopefully here in the near future. So all of that's in the works. A lot of big things here. Mr. Beeman, Mr. Watson, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Mr. Blevins, Tito, Nick, Brian, the other Brian, Robert S., the other Robert C., Anthony, Jermaine Reed back in the house after a nice vacation. Thank you for that, hitting that thumbs up button already. Matt, Tom Weiner, Ryan, Mr. Aaron Gore. The other Aaron, Never as KC, good morning, good morning, good morning. See, we got a nice little crowd building, and it's definitely going to be a good day today. We're gonna have some fun, that's for sure. Gonna have some fun taking a look at some of these early look aheads into this weekend, and it's not that early, if you know what I mean. It's Wednesday. I doubt it. No, I don't think they replay the last 7 minutes of the game. So definitely going to be a good day. So I do expect it to be a very long show. So we're actually going to jump straight into it. Don't want to miss anything as well. Or not miss anything, but be delayed on anything. So we're going to take a quick little start right into the program. Get right back where we were. Yeah, watch the Rockets miss the playoffs by a game. That's not going to happen, though. That's not going to happen. Morning, William, tuning in via text message. Always glad to have you with us. Brashard, if you're watching, welcome aboard. Glad to have you on our premium plays. I see you're new to the website, so glad to have you. Glad to have you on board with us. Always glad to be picking up new members and new subscribers, as well as new viewers. And if you're new to the channel, first of all, hit that thumbs up button for everybody. X out of that live chat real quick. Take a quick second, hit that thumbs up, and then hit that subscribe button right down below. If you're new to the channel, very beneficial to hit that subscribe button. We'll never, beg you and try and bribe you by telling you get your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, your uncles to subscribe. we want actual real content here, real subscribers. We don't want you to beg your coworkers to come here so that if you show us that you get 15 subscribers, we're going to give you XXX. No, we want actual real people that actually want to be here, that want to learn to bet on sports and take their whole sports betting to a whole new level. So if that's you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you appreciate all the content that we deliver 7 days a week, 365 days a year, rain, shine, sick, healthy, me dying in my hospital before surgery and after surgery with septic shock, it doesn't matter. We bring you guys the content 7 days a week. If you appreciate all that hard work, do us a favor, give us a big thumbs up in the video, because we certainly do appreciate it as well. So there's definitely going to be a hell of a week for us, and the fun all starts today. Mr. Lim, good afternoon. Good afternoon right there to you. So the fun all starts today. For everybody that doesn't know, my game of the week is going to go down tomorrow. If you're owed a makeup game from last week's game of the week, slight little disaster hiccup that should have went over but didn't. If you're on that, don't worry. Accounting will reactivate everybody's account later today at some point, and I'm expecting my game of the week to be posted on the website at some point today. Once that happens, you guys don't have to email in asking about it. You don't got to text me asking about it. You'll get an email automatically. You'll get an email automatically, and letting you know that not only is the play posted, but to log in. So you'll have access to that here later on this late afternoon, early evening. So no need, if you don't have access to it in the next 3 hours, don't worry, we didn't miss you. All right. You wake up in the morning and you don't have access to it, then by all means email us in, and we'll take a look for you. But everybody will have access to it a little bit later to this early afternoon or early evening, late afternoon. So maybe sooner. So again, it's going to be a great time. Going to be a lot of fun. The fun all starts today, and it's going to be a good time. That is a fact, Jack. One second, folks. Sorry, just getting a link to the live show posted on the website. Make sure that we're broadcasting to everybody that watches off the website. And if you guys are watching off the website, you just got to click on that video on the YouTube button. It'll pop up the video on YouTube, as well as if you're watching on Twitter, Periscope, Facebook. Come join us live on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com. In the search button, type in Cappers Nation Live or Cappers Nation, Cappers Direct. It'll take you right here, and that way you can come join us on YouTube Live, as well as participate in the live chat. So it'll definitely be a great time for everybody. So definitely come join us live, folks. Robert, there's no set time or day when Guaranteed Saturday can get posted. It can get posted on a Tuesday if we think it's beneficial for you to bet on Tuesday, or it can get posted Saturday morning when we think it's beneficial for you to bet on, to get it on Saturday morning. So it gets posted when we think the best opportunity starts. So, but I would imagine it'll get posted sometime tomorrow evening. You never know, maybe a little early. But it's definitely going to be shaping up to be a great weekend. That is for sure. Hang on one second, guys. Just give me one quick second. Okay. We are back. Jeff, what's going on, sir? Jonathan, what is going on? I'm getting there. I'm getting there. My voice is off, if you guys can't tell. Definitely voice is off. Marcus, what's going on, buddy? I'm all right. I'm here. I'm feeling a little tad bit better, and we're getting there day by day. That's for sure. So, all right, let's jump right into it, guys. We have a very, very, very busy day planned, and no need to delay. I've been getting tons of the rest, that's for sure, but the voice is not getting any rest. Live shows every single day is not helping that cause, and it's not going to get any better, especially with a long show today. That is a certainty. That's a fact. That is a fact. All right, don't forget, everybody, our Cyber Monday sales are going to be ending. I got them to extend it towards the end of the week, so the end of the week. So if you're on the fence, those sales going bye-bye. Better take advantage of them now, because after that, they gone. They're long gone. Long gone. All right, first one we're going to dive right into. No particular order. It's just what I've got loaded in the system. We're going to do the Cincinnati-Memphis game, guys. Cincinnati and Memphis. American Athletic Conference championship game this Saturday. And pop up all our good stuff on that one as well. Have to bear with me switching from screen to screen. Here we are, guys. You know, these lines are all courtesy of Five Dimes, our friends over at Five Dimes. And, you know, if you don't bet at Five Dimes, you should definitely take a look. If you bet online and you want quick payouts, you want the best lines possible, and you want to be treated fair, go check out Five Dimes, guys. We've got a lot of customers over there that have nothing but positive things to say. I've got an account over there as well, and they've treated me well. And one thing that we always said is we would never take a sports book as a sponsor unless they were a paying sponsor and it was somebody that I used myself personally. So here you go. There's no better referral than that one. So click on that link, go open up an account at Five Dimes, and let's all make some money together. All right, let's all make some money on some games. And if you need a place to bet, well, there you go. There you go. We just handed you one. There you go. There's Tom, happy Five Dimes customer there. Raymond, that's strange. That's weird. I'll have to try and resend it after the live show. Let me log into one more system, and then we're going to start breaking down these games. We're going to fly through them because it's a long show. We've got American Athletic Conference Mountain West, the Dr. Pepper ACC championship game, the Pac-12 game between Utah and Oregon, Big Ten between Wisconsin and Ohio State, SEC game, as well as the Big 12 championship game. So we definitely have a busy schedule planned for today, and I want to be able to run through them. So just clearing something out real quick, and then we're going to be rolling right through them here. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to rock and roll. I am ready to rock and roll. All right, guys, you've got Cincinnati. These lines are courtesy of Five Dimes. These are the most updated lines as of 5 minutes before we started the show. Cincinnati catching 9.5. Against Memphis, laying 9.5. Liberty Bowl game, guys, in Memphis, Tennessee. Total set over and under 57.5 as of right now. Keep in mind, when we break down these games, good morning, Don. When we break down these games and I give you guys my opinion, this is just a very, very, very early opinion on these games. Doesn't mean I'm going to be taking them. Doesn't mean I'm going to actually have a bet on what we discuss. It's way too early for me to be able to, especially on these conference championship games, for me to actually give you a die-hard opinion on them, for the sole fact that I need to see the final injury reports, walkthroughs, as well as some other stuff from information we get on the ground floor. Oh, before we do that, I don't want to get caught in the crosshairs of trying to hide anything. Let's do a full recap. Not that I would or anything, but let's do a full recap of everything that we did yesterday. We dropped our free small daily consensus play, Virginia plus 3.5. They got slaughtered like pigs against Purdue. I think they lost by like 59, 60, 100, 200. I stopped counting when it was above 20. But anyways, we dropped Virginia. I gave you guys a free premium play, which was our biggest premium play of the day yesterday. San Diego State laying 5. They won by 20-plus points, I think 22, against Colorado State, laying 5 on the road. So that was a nice winner there. Milwaukee laying 8.5, premium play winner there. We dropped Ohio State and North Carolina over 137.5. It was going back and forth, neck and neck. It was on track to go over. And then Ohio State just pulled away. All right, North Carolina took some bad shots. Ohio State took full advantage of them. And the Buckeyes pulled away. They got a big lead. They were up by 14-15. Next thing you know, it was up over 20. And old North Carolina cleared the bench. Cleared the bench, put in the scrubs, and it was all she wrote. It was all she wrote, never even had a chance. So a couple buckets away when it's all said and done. So we dropped that one. That was our only premium play loser of the day. And then we hammered home the Portland Trail Blazers, laying 3.5 against Sacramento. Guys, when you guys see these lines and, you're like, oh, no, that line closed at 5. Yeah, the line might have closed at 5. However, we gave it out at 3.5 because we bet it early. All right, the name of the game is finding games where you can not only beat the closing line, but beat the book as well. So, you want to really be a sharp bettor. You want to have that self-imposed title of a sharp. Beat the closing line consistently. All right, beat the closing line consistently. Make sure your bet is better than what the closing line is, either higher or lower based on where your bet is. All right, and then win the damn game. So premium plays yesterday, 3-1. Nice win for everybody on our premium plays there. My personal plays started out red hot, 2-0. Golden State, Charlotte. We took Charlotte on the money line. They blew out the Warriors. Took Maryland laying 9.5 against Notre Dame. That was an easy winner. And then we dropped Oklahoma State against Georgetown. We fell for that trap there. And then Washington laying 15 against Eastern Washington. They were up big with just a minute, 2 minutes to go. And next thing you know, they led, it's like they went back to the locker room a tad bit early there and let them come back into it. They ended up winning by 10, so we dropped that one. So 2-2 on my personal play. So it's going to be a big day today for everybody, personal and premium. We got a nice free play already out there for you guys in the NFL. If you want that free play, you're going to have to watch our daily free play video. You could watch it after this. And for everybody that, YouTube doesn't always send out notifications. YouTube doesn't always send out notifications. And so for that aspect, we do send out an email to our customers, but I know not everybody on here is our customer, so we're starting a whole new email list. Make sure you guys get subscribed to it. This is going to be the email list that we send out, letting everybody know that not only that we are live, we'll be sending out free plays by email from time to time, as well as some other cool stuff. So make sure you guys get signed up, opt into that. Just click the link below. Just click the link below on the right-hand side. Don't even worry about that little video. Just on the right-hand side of the little page that pops up, click on that. There's a little spot to enter your email address, so put that in there. Don't forget to do that, guys. That way you guys get on our big list, especially when we start emailing out plays, because we're going to start building that part up and do some cool stuff by email as well. So you're going to start getting special emailed plays that are not available in the videos to you guys. So you guys don't want to miss that, because there's some people that aren't able to watch the video. So you don't want to miss that aspect when we do that. So make sure you guys get signed up for that as well. And it's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. You can opt out at any time that you want as well. So, all right, with that being said, what we're going to do now, we're going to jump right into the Cincinnati-Memphis game. As we were already talking, lines courtesy of 5 dimes. Cincinnati plus 9.5. Memphis laying 9.5. Taking a look at the opening numbers on this one as well, guys. It actually opened up Memphis laying 10. They're down a half a point now. Total opened up at 58.5. That is down a full point right now. And the line is pretty much symmetrical all the way across the board, although CG Technologies, the books here in Vegas, actually have Memphis laying 9, Cincinnati plus 9.5. But I can see this morning they took a fairly decent-sized wager on Cincinnati laying the 9.5 points. As far as, and I give you guys this information just so you guys can make a note of it to reference, where we may be betting or where you guys may be betting. But first of all, I don't care where the public is betting. I don't care where some self-imposed title that wants to call himself a sharp is betting. Yet, they continuously lose, both sides. So, I do give you guys this information because some of you guys like to know it. But as of right now, it's pretty much 50-50 action, 53% taking the dog at Cincinnati plus 9.5. That's why it's down a half a point. Memphis getting 47% of the action. And the total, very similar, 57% rolling the under 57.5, 43% rolling the over 57.5. Marcus, good afternoon, or good morning. Thanks for joining us. So diving more in depth into this team, into these two teams. First of all, you're going to find out they've already played this year. All right, if you don't know nothing about Cincinnati, you don't know nothing about Memphis, you're going to find out they already played this year. All right, we've got 10-2 Cincinnati. They're 7-5 against the spread, 3-9 on the over. They have been an under team all year long except for 3 games. 3 out of 12 games have gone over, 9-3 on the under, including their last 3 games against South Florida, Temple, and Memphis. All right, they just played each other. They literally just played each other less than a week ago, guys. And here they are in the championship game with a week away. And Memphis beat them by 10 last time, 34-24 in a game that saw 54 points. Total was 60, so the bookmakers brought it down a couple points to try and tighten it down to make it so whatever was the final score last time is going to be divided by a field goal and be off by a field goal this time. So the bookmakers definitely sharpened up on the line, bringing it a tad bit closer. You'll see Memphis, guys, 11-1. They're a one-loss team with their only loss coming to Temple back in the middle of October 12th to be specific. They lost in a super close game that Temple got the best of them, 30-28, shocked the world. Memphis was laying 4 against Temple. It's their only loss on the year. They're 7-4-1 against the spread, 8-4 on the over. However, their 4 games that have gone over, the 4 games that have gone under was their first game, their third game, and their final 2 games against South Florida that had a total of 60.5. They scored 59. All right, and against Cincinnati just last week. Diving a little more in depth into these two teams because we're gonna try and get we're not gonna do a full major. Oh, let me crack that back. Major breakdown because we're gonna dive more in depth into these two teams come Saturday on the game day breakdown. So we just want to do a live look ahead and taking a look at them. You got Memphis 9-2-1 against the spread the last 3 years when they're playing at home in a conference game. Cincinnati just 3-12. Against the spread as an AP top 25 ranked team. All right. They come in, they ranked 20th here. All right. So when they've been in the AP top 25, they have not performed very well, just 3-12 against the spread as a top 25 ranked team. Cincinnati 7-0 on the under when they're coming in as an underdog. And here they are as a 9.5 point underdog. And which is an interesting line when you start breaking it down and you take a look at what happened in their last game last week. So before that, their prior meetings were 3 years ago. All right, Memphis has pretty much gotten the best of them. Memphis has beat them 4 straight times. The game has actually gone under 3 out of the last 4 times they played, but throw all that stats out the window other than what they played last week is the only thing that really matters, especially between these two teams head-to-head. If you're looking at any head-to-head stats, the only thing that matters is what these two teams have done last week because what they did in 2016, 15, 14, or 13, none of that really matters whatsoever. We'll dive more into the numbers between these two teams. But you've got one offensive powerhouse, Memphis, averaging 41.5 points a game, 29.4 game
for Cincinnati. Both defenses are fairly comparable, off by just a field goal. But, there's one that gives up some more yardage in the air versus on the ground. Cincinnati definitely leaves the turnover battle at +6 versus -1 for Memphis. Live early look ahead lean. And remember, guys, when I give out this information, this is just a live look ahead. It's not who I'm betting, full disclaimer. It may be who I end up betting, but this is just a live look ahead who's on my radar. But I'm taking a look at Cincinnati plus the 9.5 points. It's definitely something I'm going to take a cold hard look at, plus the 9, as well as you can't deny the under on this one. So definitely got to take weather into consideration at what's going to happen there on Saturday there in Memphis, Tennessee at the Liberty Bowl. So definitely leaning towards Cincinnati plus the 9.5 in their get back game here in the American Athletic Conference Championship game, as well as the under 57.5. And my pen died. I have 2 pens on my desk and both died today. So remember, guys, these are just early. I mean, these aren't even as strong of a lean as my game day breakdowns when we get to college basketball for today, because those are games that I might actually play today. Whereas these ones, if I was going to actually make a bet on one of these two teams, I would tell you it's a lean right now. But out of every single one of these games, as of right now, there's not one that I'm going to be betting today. There's not one that I'll be betting today. Now, there may be one that I'm betting tomorrow or the next day, and once I start doing that, if it's just going to be a lean, I'll be more than happy to disclose that and share that with you guys during, the live show on Saturday, or if it's the Pac-12 game on Friday. So it's on 5 dimes. You got to click on College Basketball Extra. It's the 4th game down. It's right under Howard and Hampton, above Southeastern Missouri State and Abilene Christian. But it's there. Wichita State laying 26 against Central Arkansas. A lot of points to be laying. A lot of points to be laying, though, if you ask me. Alex, good morning, sir. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, next game that we're going to do, we're going to roll right into it, guys. All right, another live early look ahead prelim game that we're going to look ahead. We're going to take a look at Hawaii and Boise State, Mountain West Championship game, guys. The Albertson Stadium, Boise, Idaho. Holy cow, holy Toledo, and it ain't Toledo, it is Hawaii. Hawaii. Guys, don't forget these two teams just met on October 12th of this year, and Boise State got the best of them 59-37 in a super high-scoring game. A game that, had a total of 60.5 points. We saw almost 100. We saw 96 total points. All right, 96 total points. Line on this one opened up. Boise State laying the line where it's at currently. And this lines are current courtesy of our friends over at 5 Dimes. These were updated 5 minutes before the show started today. Boise State laying 13.5. Hawaii State catching 13.5. Total set over and under 64.5 points. I could tell you the opening line on this one opened up Boise State laying 15.5. It is now down 2 points to 13.5. However, you can still find them if you're looking for Hawaii at plus 14. You can find Hawaii in many books here in Vegas at 14 as of right now. But as of right now, 5 Dimes has them at plus 13.5. Total opened up at 65. It's down to 64.5 on 5 Dimes. The Westgate's got it at 64.5. MGM and Mirage here in town actually have it at 64. So it's down a full point at the MGM and MGM Mirage books as well. So taking a look at these two teams, Hawaii 9-4 straight up, 7-6 against the spread, 8-5 on the over on the year. This is a high-flying Hawaii team, a high-scoring Hawaii team. I don't want to say they came out of nowhere because they've been progressing from year after year after year, but this is really their first, really big breakout year. And no doubt about it, they started out the year extremely strong with two big wins over the Pac-12. All right, they actually started 3 straight games against Pac-12 opponents, Arizona, Oregon State, and Washington. They beat the first 2. They beat Arizona 45-38. They beat Oregon State 31-28 in a close game there. And they tried giving Washington a run for their money, but when they met a powerhouse, Pac-12 school, they got what they deserved. And they lost 52-20. And on the other side, you got Boise State 11-1 straight up, 7-5 against the spread, 6-6 on the over. Their only loss came to BYU back on October 19th. BYU shocking the world, beating them by a field goal. They were catching a touchdown, and they beat them outright by a field goal. They opened up the year with 6 straight wins. They beat Florida State, which was their first real big shock. They beat them 36-31. They beat Marshall 14-7. They beat Portland State in a gimme game 45-10. They beat Air Force 30-19, and they kept their triple option threat in check there. They beat UNLV 38-13. Obviously, Hawaii 59-37, who they're going to be facing this Saturday in the Mountain West Championship game. They're up in Boise. And then they ran into BYU. They ran into BYU. BYU got the best of them by a field goal. They came back. They bounced back strong against San Jose State. Problem is they gave up 42 against San Jose State. Their defense came back strong against Wyoming. Wyoming, not a big high-scoring team like they've been over the years. They beat them 20-17 in a close game there. They beat New Mexico 42-9. And then high-flying Utah State beat them 56-21 in that big run program there. And then beat Colorado State by a touchdown 31-24 to round out their season as a one-loss team, guys. And here they are, Mountain West Championship, looking for a big victory. And I don't want to say they're going to have an easy time. They probably, have no problem winning this game outright as far as covering the 14 points. Taking a look at what they did last time, they beat them by 22. Right, they beat them by 22 at home. They get them at home again. And they got dominated. They beat them by over 3 touchdowns. And, it was a game where we saw, 96 total points. So instantly I'm going to be, and I already know, Hawaii, high-flying offense, Boise State, high-flying offense. The two teams combined, they average 72.7 points per game total. All right, and their defense is average, giving up over, 53.3 points per game total. So, definitely I'm looking at the over. However, one thing that you got to pay attention to up in Boise is weather. Snow, weather, rain, sleet, slush, ice. So I'm definitely, going to be taking a look at Boise, as well as, Boise laying the 13.5, if you can still get it at 13.5 come game time, as well as, the over in this game, the over 64.5. So, but, the main factor as far as that total goes is going to be weather. Boise State can run the ball. They run the ball quite a bit. Matter of fact, they run 6 more rushing plays than they do passing plays, but they're still not running the ball effectively. They're only averaging 177 rushing yards a game at 4.5 yards per carry. They average 271 in the air at 8.2 yards per passing attempt. So they're picking up over almost 100 yards on offense more on 6 less plays passing the ball, obviously, than they are running the ball. But their run game just hasn't been as strong. Now, for instance, for Hawaii's been more of a passing team. They're averaging 332 yards a game at 42 plays, which puts them at 7.8 yards per passing attempt, compared to running just 28 rushing plays at 148 yards. They average more per rush than Boise State at 5.2 yards per rushing attempt. But when it comes to defense and the defensive side of things, both give up quite a few points. Hawaii gives up over 31.8 points a game. Boise State been giving up 21.5. Boise State's been good defending the run. They're holding teams to 115 yards rushing, but they've been torched in the secondary. They give up 234 in the air, and they're +2 on turnovers. But where Hawaii falters has been the turnovers. They're -13 on turnovers. We have a 15 turnover differential for Boise State, and that's why I'm definitely going to be looking at Boise State to lay the 13.5, as well as possibly the over 64.5. So a lot of factors still to consider on this one. And weather. No, weather wasn't a factor in the blizzard game, but you got to take into consideration Hawaii's Hawaii. Hawaii's going to have to put up some numbers for that total to go over. That's a fact. So and Hawaii's a fair weather team, so definitely going to have to pay attention to that weather before I decide to do something. So we'll take a look more in depth over the weekend for this one, but that's who I'm taking a look at early on. So exactly, and Minnesota played Wisconsin, and big difference between Wisconsin playing in the snow and the bunch of Samoans from Hawaii playing in the snow. A lot of those kids never even seen snow till they made the football team. All right, next game that we're going to do, we're going to skip ahead on some of these. We're going to do some of the high-profile ones last for you guys. Next one we're going to do the big Dr. Pepper ACC championship game between Virginia and Clemson. But first, guys, if you haven't already done so, and remember, we're going to get to college basketball. We're going to do the Thursday night football game between the Bears and the Cowboys here in just a little bit. We're going to do some college basketball. We'll have a late night chaser breakdown. I've got a free play for you guys. We already have a free play out there for you guys in the NFL. I froze my screen here, so hang on one second. What you're going to have to do to get it, and when we're done with this video, you're going to have to go watch our daily free play video. We already have a great free play out there for you guys. We're going to break that game down for you guys in its entirety and tell you exactly the reasons why we're taking what we're taking on that free play. So if you want that one when we're done here, make sure you guys watch that video. And again, when you're over there, do us a favor like you do here. Do us a favor, give us a big thumbs up in the video, drop us a comment over there, tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see, what you guys would like to see, any improvements to the show, dream requests, you name it, and we'll take it into consideration for you guys. So when you're watching that video over there, when you're done here, just make sure you drop us a comment, give us a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, all right, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that way you get signed up. That way you get notified each and every single time we go live. We go live 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. We also go live Saturday and Sundays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, dark and early in the morning. And as a secondary precaution, if you want to receive more free plays, you want to receive free plays by email, do us a favor, get signed up on our email list. I just posted the link in the comment section. Just click on that link. Don't worry about the video on there. Just put in your email address on the right-hand side next to the email, or actually if you're on your phone or your tablet, it'll be right below it. Put in your email there. We'll start emailing you recaps of the live show, the videos. That way you don't have to come search for them on YouTube. You can actually just click on them right and watch them directly in your email. You'll be able to watch our videos as well as get additional free plays, because we're going to start. We have a lot of customers that are not capable to watch the videos. They do a lot of stuff by email, so we're going to be doing some free plays by email starting this week as well. So in order to get those, you're going to have to get signed up. So make sure you guys put in your information there as well. All right, let's get back to the ACC Dr. Pepper Bowl. Going to be fun time between Virginia and Clemson. It's going to be fun for one of them. I don't know if it's going to be fun for Virginia, though. I don't know if it's going to be fun for Virginia. That's they could have a tough little task. All right. Give me 1 second here, folks. Just getting situated. For this next one, which is going to be a fun time as well. So, all right, guys, let's get this next breakdown on the way, because we still have 4 more after this, and we're going to do Monday night. I mean, I got Monday Night Football in my head still. We're going to do Thursday Night Football between the Cowboys and the Bears. And then we're also going to do some college hoops for you guys. And if we have any more time, which I don't know if we will, but if we do, we'll jump into some NBA and maybe some NHL action for you guys as well. So Premium Plays had a great day yesterday. 3-1 on the day. And going to be having another nice big day today. There's 3 premium plays. I've got 3 personal plays.
We've got NFL action, NBA action, college basketball action. You want a big 3-0? Get signed up, guys. 3 days of premium plays, just $99. 3 days of premium plays, $99. Better yet, better than that, you can get 2 weeks for $250, and that sale is going to be ending soon. That one is going to be ending soon. And let's see here. Let me see if I could throw something out there for you guys. Let's see. Hang on one second, folks. Today's December 5th. All right. If you guys enter the promo code CD10, take 10% off any package just for the people in the live show. Enter promo code, all lowercase. So you can get the 3 days for 10% off the $99, get it for $90. Take 10% off the $250. Take 10% off any package right now during the live show. Just got to enter that promo code CD10, take 10% off. That's for you guys. All right, let's take a look at this. Hold on one second. Benny, I don't know why you never get my text messages, sir, if you're watching us live. But I'm sending my personal plays back out to you. All right. Virginia catching 28.5 currently right now. Virginia catching 28.5. Clemson laying 28.5. Total on this game over and under 55 points, courtesy of our friends over at 5 Dimes. Line on this one actually opened up Clemson laying 24.5. It is already up 4 points to 28.5, guys. They're laying just over a 4 touchdowns and a hook. Total opened up at 53.5. It is now up to, as we said, 55.5. I still do see 55 at a couple books. MGM and their betting app all have it at 55. However, 5 Dimes has them at 55.5 as well. Taking a look at these two teams, taking a look at their history, when they've played each other, they haven't played each other in quite some time. All right, they haven't played each other since 2013. So this will definitely be a game that we take a very hard look at throughout the week. Obviously, injury reports from Clemson as well as Virginia. But right off the bat, you know, Virginia's going to be out muscled, out dominated, and out talented, no doubt about it. But here's some stats for you guys. You know, Virginia 8-1-1 against the spread against opportunistic offenses, averaging less than 12.35 yards per point. Clemson just 3-4 against the spread. And this one, throw this. I don't even know why they put this in there. You guys know I don't like these stats. Any head-to-head history, they haven't played recently. Throw all that shit out the window. We haven't touched the Bears and the Cowboys yet. That'll be after our conference championship breakdowns. Long show today. Virginia 13-2 as an 13-2 on the under versus an opponent on a winning streak of 4 more games. We all know Clemson's 12-0. All right, Clemson 12-0, 9-3 against the spread, 5-7 on the over, 7-5 on the unders. All right, so if you've bet on Clemson this year, you made an absolute killing. However, they have not been laying little lines. Okay, let's go over Clemson real quick. Then we'll take a look at the 9-3 Virginia, who's 6-5-1 against the spread and 8-4 on the overs. All right, let's take a look at Clemson. They opened up the season laying 36.5 against Georgia Tech. They covered the spread. They beat them 52-14. All right, Texas A&M was their lowest line that they were laying of the entire year. They were laying 15.5 against Texas A&M. They beat them by 14. They beat them 24-10. It was one of the 3 games they did not cover the spread. All right. Against Syracuse, they were laying 28. They covered. They beat them 41-6. Against Charlotte, they were laying 40.5. They beat them 52-10. They covered the spread. Against North Carolina, they were laying 27, just under 4 touchdowns, 1.5 off of where this line's going to be for this game between them and Virginia. They beat them 21-20. Close game. North Carolina had them on the ropes, had them on upset alert. Clemson pulled through, but did not cover the spread. That was their second of 3 that they did not cover out of 12 games. Right? Florida State, they were laying 25. They beat them 45-14. Against Louisville, they were laying 24.5. They covered the spread. They beat them 45-10. Against Boston College, they were laying a whopping just under 5 touchdowns. They were laying 34.5. Total was over and under 59. They put up 59 themselves. All right, they beat them 59-7. If you guys remember, it was that late touchdown by Boston College that actually put the total over in that game. We actually had the over in that game, and thank God Boston College was able to finally score something. They covered the 34.5. The total went over in that one. Then they had Wofford. All right, they were laying 50 against Wofford. 50. Yes, folks, they were laying 50 points. They beat them 59-14. All right, they did not cover the spread. They beat them by 45. So that was their third final game that they did not cover the spread. Their final 3 games, they all covered the spread. 2 out of their final 3 also went under. They beat NC State. They were laying 35. They beat them 55-10. Against Wake Forest, they were laying 34. They beat them 52-3. And against South Carolina SEC team, which, should have been able to put up more than 3 against Clemson. It was a statement win for Clemson there at the very end of the season to say, hey, we deserve to be in the top 4, even though we're not playing, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, but they did beat up Texas A&M. They beat up, Georgia Tech. They had a close game with North Carolina, which you can't base your entire season off of a close game with North Carolina. And they beat up South Carolina, not like South Carolina is anything special, but they are coming out of a great conference. So, they beat up South Carolina. They were laying 27.5 to 27, depending on where you gave it. They beat them 38-3. They held them to 3 points. They've given up 6 points in their final 2 games. Against South Carolina, Wake Forest, they gave up 16 out of their last 3 games. Throw in the mix of NC State and make it 30 points out of 4 games if you throw up Wofford. Believe it or not, Wofford's the only one that put up more than at least 2 touchdowns on them. In the last 4 games, they gave up 7 to Boston College. Make it 37 out of the last 5 games. Make it 47 out of the last 6 games if you add in Louisville. So their defense has been top-notch. Clemson defense has been rock solid. It's the reason why they're only averaging 10.1 points per game to opposing teams all season long. All right, guys. You take a look at Virginia. Virginia, no slouch, on the year, 9-3 straight up. They've only had 3 losses. They came to Notre Dame, Miami of Florida, as well as Louisville. All right. They started out the year, red hot. 4 straight games. They went 2-1-1 against the spread. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that thumbs up. And for everybody that hits the thumbs up button, we're always very appreciative when you guys do that. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you've been here a while, or as well as if you're new, make sure you hit that thumbs up button as well. It definitely helps us get the video trending in the right direction. So if you appreciate all that hard work, do us a big favor. Hit that thumbs up button and help us get the video trending in the correct direction. Reginald, what's going on, sir? And Aaron, we always got a troll. He's probably watching at work or from his hospital bed right now. Or the restaurant, one of the 2. We always got one. There's always that one. So, but back to Virginia, guys. Trolls don't really matter. They help us. They don't realize that they actually help us when they hit the thumbs down button. Thumbs down or thumbs up. So, but yeah, for everybody that does hit the thumbs up button, we're definitely appreciative. for everybody that subscribes to the YouTube channel. We're also very, very, very appreciative. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. That way you get notified every single time we drop a video. It doesn't matter if it's, pre-recorded, like our daily free play video, or live like this one, you will be notified. All right, back to Virginia, guys. Like I said, they started out the year with 4 straight wins. They beat up Pittsburgh 30-14. They beat up William and Mary 52-17. They got rid of Florida State. They beat them 31-24. They beat them by a touchdown. They pushed on the spread. They were laying 7. They won by 7. They got rid of Old Dominion. They were laying 27 there. They only beat them 28-17, though. That game did go under the total of 46.5 as well. And then they ran into Notre Dame. They lost by 15 to Notre Dame, 35-20. Then they lost to Miami of Florida, 17-9 in a super low-scoring game. They did not cover the spread. They were actually a 3-point dog. All right, there's been a couple times that they've been a dog this year. 4 to be specific. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 times this year. Against Clemson is going to mark the 5th time that they were a dog. They lost the first 2 against Notre Dame and Miami as a dog. They did not cover either one of those spreads. Against North Carolina, they were a 1-point dog. They beat them outright, 38-31. And then against Virginia Tech to end the year, they were a 1.5-point dog against Virginia Tech. And they got rid of Virginia Tech by 9, if you remember. So 2-2 as far as covering the spread goes as a dog. Hold on one second, folks. Okay. We are back. So here they are, but they have not been a 28.5-point dog. I promise you that all season long. They've been a 31.5-point favorite, and they cover the spread against William and Mary, but they have not been a 28.5-point dog. They were a 10.5-point dog against Notre Dame. They did not cover the spread. They actually lost by 15. So, they definitely have a tall task in front of them. Virginia, no slouch on offense. They're averaging 128 yards on the ground, which is going to be their downfall. They've struggled to run the ball, but they put up 261 in the air. They've been effective. They average 33.7 points per game. They're even Steven on turnovers. However, they're going to be going up against a Clemson D that's plus 11 on turnovers. And there's no denying the fact, of the plus 11 on turnovers. Plus, Clemson is plus 35.1 points differential. They're beating teams by an average of 35 points a game. All right, and here they are laying 28.5. Clemson, we all know they're going to rush the ball. They're going to rush the ball. They're going to pass the ball. They're going to put up over 500 yards of offense, just like they do on every single game. They average, 540 yards a game on offense, 256 in the air, over 540, 256 in the air, 285 on the ground. 256 on the ground at 6.5 yards per carry, and 285 in the air at 8.4 yards per passing attempt. That Virginia defense is going to have their work cut out for them. They've been fairly decent, defending the run. They're holding teams to 123 rushing yards a game and 213 in the air. But, they haven't faced an opponent like Clemson all year long. Their closest one to Clemson, I'd have to say, would have been Notre Dame. And we all know what happened to Notre Dame this year, so not much. So Notre Dame struggling against some sub-caliber, subpar teams that they should have been able to wreck and wreak havoc on, and they haven't. So as far as this one goes, I don't know if I'm comfortable laying 28.5. Although I will tell you this, this is definitely, going to be another statement game. Clemson wants to show why they're the number 3, and why they should probably be ranked higher. On where they're at, what they did last year. When's the last time Clemson has lost a game, right? And, my personal opinion, that should all be factored into the equation, the entire program and what they've done this year. It's not their fault they play in the ACC, all right? It's not their fault they play in the ACC. They stepped out, before conference play. They played Texas A&M. They played Georgia Tech. End of the season against South Carolina. Yeah, it may not be the strongest of opponents, but there's no denying, the shittiest teams coming out of the SEC are better than most teams in the Pac-12, unfortunately, as well as, other conferences. Jeff, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Aaron, he probably lost his 12-teamer. So as far as this one goes, early. Not to say that I'm going to actually bet it. I definitely take a look. At Clemson laying the 28.5, possibly the over 55.5. I mean, Clemson's gonna be laying 28.5. So that means if Virginia could put up a couple touchdowns, Clemson's gonna have to keep pace, which might put the total over. So I think we might see a lot of high scoring games, but again, need to monitor the weather. Need to monitor everything that's going to happen there in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is a neutral site game, so everybody needs to know we need to monitor the weather at the Bank of America Stadium there in Charlotte. It's definitely on the lookout, and that's for sure. And these live look-aheads are just, where I'm thinking early on. And remember, just where I'm thinking early on, my opinion may change 2 or 3 times between now and when it comes time to actually putting my money on the game. So we're just doing a little live look ahead for everybody today. And we have a couple more to do. We've got 4 more to do. We got the Pac-12 championship still to do, the Big Ten championship game on Saturday, the SEC game between LSU and Georgia, as well as the Big 12 championship game between Baylor and Ohio State. And then we'll jump into Thursday night football between the Cowboys and the Bears. And we'll also take a look at some college basketball today as well. So definitely going to be a busy day for everybody that's just tuning in. And all of that good stuff. Definitely going to be a busy day for the live show as well. When can you purchase the UFC card? You can purchase the UFC card right now. The packages have always been on the website. They've never been taken down. You can purchase it right now. But the UFC picks will not be actually on the website until after the weigh-ins conclude tomorrow. We never post the UFC fight picks before the weigh-ins are concluded. But you can purchase it now. You can always purchase it early. That's a fact. So next one that we're going to do the almighty Pac-12 championship game. A lot of controversy in this game, and it's going to be surrounding Utah. And Utah, Utah coming in ranked 5th in the college football playoff rankings by the playoff committee. I don't think this is how the playoff committee wanted, and obviously you guys got to know the head of the playoff committee is the director from Oregon. So he's he is Pac-12. Is there Pac-12 bias? Yeah, they want to get a Pac-12 team finally into the playoffs, and it's something the playoff committee has wanted to do. They don't want it to be just an SEC showdown each and every single year. But I don't think this is the way they wanted it to work out. Unfortunately for Oregon and the playoff committee, Oregon ran into old Arizona State 2 weeks ago, and they upset them 31-28. Oregon made a valued comeback there at the very end of the game. They gave it their best to try and win the game, and Arizona State upset them, and it's going to keep them out of the college football playoff championships this year. And I believe it was the committee that wanted both of these teams to be 11-1 coming in, or Utah to be the 10-2 team, and that way Oregon got to play USC. USC being an actual, higher ranked, well, not higher ranked team, but 22 ranked team. But here they are. They got the 11-1 Utah Utes, and they were hoping Oregon was going to be 11-1, Utah would be 11-1, and Oregon would come out on top and be able to push the case for the tougher schedule with their very close loss to Auburn, stepping out playing Auburn, in the very beginning of the year, and giving Auburn a run for their money, and taking a look where Auburn's at the end of the year.
But, they don't get that. It's always not what you want in life, and here they are. They're going to have Oregon and Utah. And if Utah walks away with an outright victory over Oregon, they definitely set themselves up. Set themselves up. What was I going to say? For a very, very, very huge debate. If Utah can beat Oregon. If Utah beats Oregon and Oklahoma beats Baylor, then what do they do? You've got the 5th and 6th ranked teams winning their championship games, and you're going to have to take a look at strength of schedule. I don't think Utah gets in. And we're going to take a look at all those schedules, and we'll talk more about this after it happens, or maybe on Friday or Saturday if Utah actually can actually beat Oregon outright, and if they want to be that valued effort, have an even more valuable effort and more talk, they're going to have to do it in convincing fashion. It can't be a nail-biting victory. Utah's going to have to come out and absolutely dominate Oregon, which no team has done this year. All right, no team has done this year. Oregon State dominated them early. Not Oregon State, excuse me. Arizona State dominated them early, but they made that big comeback. They ended up losing by 3. So Utah's going to have a huge monster game to get into the college football playoffs, assuming LSU beats Georgia. And then, the weak link will be out. Because I doubt Virginia's beating Clemson. Not outright, anyways. They may cover the spread, but I don't think they're beating them outright. All right, guys, Utah 15-5-1 against the spread against efficient offenses, averaging less than 13.2 yards per point. Oregon just 4-11 against the spread as an underdog. All right, 4-11 against the spread as an underdog. Utah 17-7-1 on the under against strong defensive teams, allowing less than 20 points per game. And taking a look at their head-to-head, they did not play each other in the Pac-12 this year. They did not meet each other. They played last year. If you guys remember, they played last year 32-25. Utah got the dominating victory at home. They beat them. They were laying 6. They actually covered the spread against Oregon last year. That game went over the total of 50.5. Matter of fact, the total has gone over 4 out of the last 5 times, and actually 6 out of the last 7 games, even farther back than that. These are two teams that usually face off every year at one point. Last year was in the regular season. This year, they didn't get in the Pac-12 championship game. Taking a look, experience for Utah, they've been in this situation. They were here last year against Washington, and it didn't end well for them. All right, taking a look, Utah has what? 6 NFL draftable players on defense, a starting running back in the NFL when he does get drafted, NFL caliber quarterback. So there's no denying, the talent that is on the Utah Utes team this year. Taking a look right at them, guys. You've got Oregon 10-2 straight up, 6-6 against the spread, 5-7 on the over. The Utes guys 11-1 straight up. Their only loss coming to my Trojans. Speaking of that, even though we did retain Clay Helton, I did buy some more, Trojan swag. I gotta rock my Trojans. 22nd ranked team in the country. Unfortunately, we are sticking with Clay Helton. Hopefully he can pick up recruiting and maybe an offensive coordinator, because it looks like Graham Howell's going to be going to Texas. But anyways, guys, Utes 11-1. Their only loss coming to my Trojans this year, who beat them 30-23. But they started out the year with 3 straight victories. They beat BYU, they beat Northern Illinois, they beat Idaho State, and then they ran into USC. All right, then they had Washington State. They beat them in their air raid attack 38-13. They finished out the season with all W's, and they actually covered the spread in their final 8 games. They went 8-0 straight up and 8-0 against the spread in their final 8 games. All you had to do was bet on Utah the final 8 weeks of the season, and you made a killing. All right, the under in the final 8 weeks went 6-2 as well. Yeah, Fast Freddy, they held on to Clay Helton, but they're going to lose their offensive coordinator. I got a feeling old Grammy boy's going to go to Texas and go play with coach with our old Herm. But they after their loss to USC, they rattled back, they battled back, and they beat Washington State, Oregon State, Arizona State, Cal, Washington. Yes, they did beat Washington in a get-back game from the Pac-12 championship game last year. That was a close game. They beat them by 5. They were actually laying 3. They still covered the spread. They beat UCLA. They smashed UCLA. They held Chip Kelly and his UCLA offense to 3 points. They beat Arizona, held them to a touchdown. They finished out the year against Colorado. They beat them 45-15. I'm not going to lie, I was rooting against them in that game. But they did get the job done. They actually covered the 27.5 points as well, beating them 45-15. They beat them by 30. Fast Freddy, you have a lot on your plate today? We do. We do have a lot on our plate today. It's a big day today, and I love big days today. I love big challenges and a lot of fun days. These are always fun days. Utah, 17-7-1 against the spread. 17-7-1 on the under against strong defensive teams, allowing less than 20 points per game. All right, and Oregon just 4-11 against the spread when coming in as an underdog. And I never changed the screen, so hold on one second. Lines courtesy of 5 dimes as of right now. Utah laying 6.5. Oregon plus 6.5. Total over and under 46. I did see 7s out there. All right, guys, I have seen 7s out there, and in a couple spots, and I would not be surprised to see it go to 7 as well. Let me double check because I thought it was at 7 at 5 dimes right before we went live. But this one was on the screen since yesterday because we were going to do this one yesterday, but we ran out of time. Let me double check to make sure it did get updated before I went live. Nope, it's still 6.5 total over and under 46. You could get it if you're taking the Ducks. You can get them at 7 minus $1, plus 7 at minus $1.30. If you're taking the Utes, minus 6.5 at minus $1.10, and also the team total on Utah. Team total on Utah over 26.5 minus $1.20. A team total on the Ducks over 19.5 minus $1.10. All right, guys. And I actually see the total up to 47 at the MGM properties, 46 everywhere else. CG Technologies having it at 46.5 as well. But for the most part, it's 46 everywhere. Skip S, what's going on, sir? Diving into these teams, the opening line was Utah laying 4.5. So if you were betting on Utah, you missed a huge 2-point advantage there. All right, you missed a huge opening line movement where the line opened up at 4.5. It's now 6.5. Chuck, we as far as guaranteed Saturday goes, it could be released any day during the week, all the way up until Saturday morning, when our staff feels that it's advantageous for you guys to be able to bet it and for us to release it. We release it. So if we think there's going to be a line movement in the game that might benefit us, we definitely wait. So as of right now, it could be tomorrow or it could be Saturday morning. But as soon as it's posted, everybody that's supposed to be getting it will be notified. Back to the Ducks, guys. They opened up the year against Auburn. Neutral site game, if you guys remember. They called it a neutral site game, but that was a home field advantage for Auburn. But either way, the Ducks gave them a run for their money. They ended up losing by 6. They lost 27-21. The game went under the total. Skip S, the Oregon team totals 19.5. Utah 26.5 for team totals. So they started out the year. They were not afraid to take on a big SEC powerhouse school like Auburn, as we saw. What old Gus Malzahn did to Alabama. The Oregon Ducks program definitely had the right mindset opening up the year against a strong non-conference. Not just a powerhouse conference of a school, top five power conference team in Auburn. They ended up losing by 6. They didn't cover the spread in a close game. They came back. They smashed Nevada 77-6. They covered the 24 points they were laying. They had Montana. They beat them 35-3. They did not cover the 39.5 that they were laying in that game.
That game went under. They actually rattled off 4 straight unders after beating Nevada. The game against Stanford, they won 21-6. They were laying 12. They covered the spread. It went under the total of 55.5. After that, they had Cal. They beat 17-7. They were laying 21. Obviously, it went. They did not cover that spread, and it went under the total of 46.5. But they did win. They got rid of Colorado 45-3. They were laying 23 there. They covered the spread there, but it went under the total of 62.5 because Colorado did not put up any points. Colorado was a team, just last week that Utah made easy work of. They beat them 45-15, but the Utes defense gave up 15 points to Colorado in that game. Against Washington this year, the Oregon Ducks beat them 35-31. They were laying 2.5. They covered the spread, and that went way over the total of 48.5. We saw 66 points scored in that game. In a game where, the Utah that you can compare him, Utah played Washington. They beat them 33-28. They beat them by 5, whereas, Oregon beat them by 4. So very close comparisons there. Against Washington State, guys, Oregon got the job done in a very close game. If you remember, that was a come-from-behind victory. They beat them 37-35. They did not cover the spread, but the total of 72 points was 5 points more than the 67 needed to hit the over on that game. And then against my Trojans, unfortunately, my Trojans did lose to them, which killed their Pac-12 championship hopes. Losing to Oregon because they would have had the tiebreaker against Utah since they're the only team to beat Utah this year. They lost to Oregon 56-24. The game went over the total of 60, and obviously Oregon covered the 3.5 points they were laying against my Trojans. Then against Arizona, they beat them 34-6. They covered the 27.5 that they were laying. It did not go over the total of 68.5. It went under by a country mile. And then their final over on the year against Arizona State, they lost 31-28. It went over the total of 54.5. They were laying 13, and unfortunately, it should be whichever one of these teams wins will be advancing. Yes, Justin, I believe I've answered that same question to you as well by email. Yes, you'll be getting Guaranteed Saturday. And for like the 19th time today, Guaranteed Saturday when it's posted, everybody will be emailed. Everybody will be emailed when Guaranteed Saturday gets posted. Just like the last 3 weeks and 19 weeks and 220 weeks before that, whenever we post our big game, it gets notified by email. Everybody gets notified by email every single week. It will always go out by email letting you know that it is posted. All right, back to Oregon State. Oregon State and the Oregon game. Final game of the year, they beat them 24-10. They did not cover the 21 that they were laying, and obviously it went way under the total of 64.5. So here we are, guys, Utah. This is the game of the century for them. Matter of fact, obviously last year of the century. No problem, Justin. But, and here they are. They want to have any legitimate talk of making the playoffs if, for some reason, LSU's able to beat Georgia. If Georgia loses to LSU and either Oklahoma or Utah, or both of them, win their games, or hell, even Baylor being the 7th ranked team, if Baylor beats Oklahoma, they're going to have a big case on why they should be in. I think Georgia's out. I think it'll be a one SEC playoff this year, one SEC team playoff this year. But if Oregon wants to have a chance, not only are they going to have to win, I think they're going to have to win in convincing fashion and beat the 13th ranked Oregon Ducks because, I'll be honest, I know Feinbaum said it. I don't think anybody wants to see Utah in the playoffs. I mean, let's be honest. I'm a Pac-12 fan, so obviously I'd like to see good things for the Pac-12. Obviously, growing up in Southern California, being a huge Trojan fan, I'd love to see a Pac-12 team in there. I'd love to see a Pac-12 team win the national championship. I don't think there's one Pac-12 team this year, last year, the year before that, that can compete
offensively, not even just defensively, offensively, with the likes of LSU, Oklahoma, Baylor. And Skip, I'm not biased against the Pac-12, but let's be honest, strength of schedule, Utah doesn't deserve to be there. Who has Utah played and who did they lose to? All right, they played BYU, Northern Illinois, Idaho State, USC, Washington State, Oregon State, Arizona State, Cal, Washington, UCLA, Arizona, Colorado. Now they get 2-loss Oregon. Their only loss on the year came to the USC Trojans. 8-4 on the year, ranked 22nd, highest 4-ranked team in college football. I wonder why they're the highest ranked team there. I wonder why they got more votes to be up there as a 4-loss team. Well, because it definitely helps the resume for Utah by saying that, hey, USC is ranked 22nd in the country. They beat the or they lost to the 22nd ranked team in the country. Their only loss came to USC, who's a ranked team. It's probably the only reason why USC doesn't deserve to be ranked. USC, and I'm a huge USC fan, so I'm definitely not biased. I would have rather seen Oregon go to the playoffs than Utah. Obviously, I think Oregon's a better, more well-rounded program. I think they played a tougher schedule. The fact that they actually stepped out and their non-conference game actually included Auburn says a lot. Now, Utah, who was their non-conference game against? BYU, Northern Illinois, and Idaho State? Exactly as Jonathan said, Ohio, and he's a San Diego boy right there. Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, Georgia, Utah is not even in the conversation. But when Georgia loses to LSU, or if that happens, or one of these other teams lose, they have to blow. You have to blow the other team out. Oklahoma's going to have to blow out Baylor. Baylor's going to have to blow out Oklahoma, and Georgia's going to have to lose. 4th-ranked team losing to the 2nd. I don't think they're going to drop very much. You guys got to remember, when a Pac-12 team loses, they drop them like 15 places. When an SEC team loses, they drop like a spot, if that. If they're playing a higher-ranked team, they usually stay around the same, maybe one spot lower. Big 12 team, drops a game, they usually lose 2 or 3 spots. Is there bias against the Pac-12? Yes. But strength of schedule, quality of opponent, quality of program, the Pac-12 is just not there. Pac-12 is just not there. I promise you, they tried grooming both Washington and Oregon this year, and both teams coming out of the Pac-12 North failed. Look where Oregon and Washington were ranked to start the year. Oregon and Washington were way up there in the top 10, and they groomed both of them, so that way whichever one beat one would advance to the Pac-12 championship as the highest ranked Pac-12 team, hopefully. Yeah, Jonathan, Pac-12 loses, they drop them to Division II rankings. No doubt about that one. No doubt about that one. I mean, look what happened when Oregon lost to Auburn to start the year. Look where they killed them in the rankings. So, is there bias? Yeah. Do I want to see a Pac-12 team go to the college football playoffs? Absolutely. Is Utah our only hope? Yes. Do I think they stand a chance against Ohio State? No. Even if LSU got bumped up to number 1, do I think they stand a chance against LSU? No. Not a chance. Not a chance. And the fact that Coach O has competed against Utah for so many years when he was at the USC program, huge advantage LSU. So, if Utah does get in, they better pray their first game is not against LSU. So, no, definitely I don't ride the SEC teams, but there's no denying the best football schools are coming from the SEC. Hold on one second, guys.
So let's move on to the next one. As far as a lean on this one goes, I got to do a lot more diving and digging. But as a few said, the team total on Oregon, the team total on Utah look good. Oregon only team total over 19.5. Might be one that I'm looking at as well, because that one's no doubt about it. That's on the juicy side, 19.5. You're telling me Oregon is only going to put up 3 touchdowns? They put up less than 3 touchdowns. They put up 21 on Auburn. Okay, they put up 17 against Cal, which is a team that Utah blanked, so they're taking that into consideration. They put up, that's it, 21 against Stanford, 21 against Auburn, 21 against Stanford, and only 17 against Cal. Okay. No Stanford and Utah comparison this year. So over 19.5, they've only scored less than 21 points twice this year. So that's definitely on the juicy side right there. And the fact that they put up 25 against Utah last year, beginning middle of November 10th actually, definitely makes that team total juicy. I know not everybody can bet team totals, but that's definitely one that I've got my eyes set on. So, but I do need to do a little more research, a little more diving into that. And yeah, and if you take a look at the first quarters, first quarter has the total over and under 9.5 points. Oregon over 3.5, Utah over 6.5 in the first quarter. So an over 3.5 on 5 dimes is actually plus 140. Plus 140 that Oregon will not score more than a field goal. And keep in mind, this isn't a neutral site game. Should be it's Santa Clara, it's where the 49ers stay, Levi Stadium, where the 49ers play. So is it going to be chilly? Yeah. Is it going to be Utah chilly? No. Is it going to be Oregon chilly? No. Well, kind of, sort of. But, it's going to be Oregon weather. It's going to be Oregon weather. I think the Ducks travel very, very well. Their alum travels well. So, it might be a neutral site game, but I think you're definitely going to have an Oregon home field advantage there at Levi Stadium, being in Northern California. In just, a 6-hour drive? 8-hour drive from the Ducks. So, and Ducks fans everywhere. So, but no, I'm definitely going to take a more hard look into this one as well. Dustin H., I don't think they'll be sitting Lawrence at all in the second half of that game. Remember, Clemson's got the weakest schedule out of all of them, and they want to stay there. I don't think Clemson wants to drop or be passed up, which I don't think they can be. But we've seen weird shit with the playoffs happen before, so it wouldn't surprise me to see something funky like that. Clemson not cover the spread, Georgia lose, Oklahoma and Utah blow out their opponents, drop 2, pick up 2. A lot of controversy, a lot of talk, a lot of publicity. A lot of publicity when that happens. So there's a lot of things that the playoff committee does to generate interest and TV time and views and being talked about. All right, next game. We're going to jump right back into the next game because we've already been live for an hour and a half. We still have 3 more games to talk about. And then we're going to talk about, we have 3 more conference championship games. Then we're going to talk about Thursday night football, Cowboys and the Bears. And then some college basketball, as well as a late night chaser breakdown for you guys. Derek, I did get your text, but I'll respond as soon as we're off the live show. I know you're watching now.
Yeah, he hasn't played in the last in the fourth quarter in the last 5 games, but I don't have a lean on the Oregon or Utah. I don't have a lean on that game, side or total. I do lean towards the Oregon team total over 19.5. Just because that's juicy. Matt, thank you. Yeah, San Diego State last night laying 5 premium play against Colorado State. That was a fantastic one. That one actually happened exactly how it should have happened. It's always good when things happen that the way that they're supposed to happen. All right, we're gonna jump into the next one. Next one that we're gonna do, guys, we've got 3 left: the Big 10, the Big 12, and the SEC. We're gonna jump right into the Big 10 championship game on Saturday, the 7th of December, between Wisconsin and Ohio State. For you guys, that's the one that we're gonna be doing next. The number 8 and number 1 ranked teams for you guys. We're going to be jumping into that here in just a second, so bear with me 1 second while we get that up and rolling. All right, we're back. All right, Wisconsin, Ohio State, guys. Wisconsin, the 16.5 point underdog. All right, 16.5 point dog here. Ohio State laying 16.5. Total over and under 56 points. Big Ten championship game this Saturday, guys. This should be an interesting game. This should definitely be not only an interesting game, but a hell of a game. Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana, guys. Neutral site game. Take weather out of the equation. Another rematch. All right, guys, another rematch here. What is this? Wisconsin's 6th trip to Indianapolis in the last 9 years. They get one more crack at Ohio State. Here they are. Are they going to be able to get it? Wisconsin 10-2 straight up, 7-5 against the spread, 6-6 on the over. Ohio State, one of the few 12-0 teams on the year, 9-3 against the spread, 7-5 on the over on the year. And let's see here. We're going to take a look at these two teams. We're going to dive in depth in them. We're going to try and make it as quick as possible because we still have 3 more breakdowns, plus Thursday night football and college basketball. Line actually opened up Ohio State laying 18, so if you were going to be taking Wisconsin, you're already off from the opening line by 1.5. Opened up at 18. Ohio State now laying 16.5. Total opened up at 52. If you were taking the over, you missed a 4.5 point advantage. It has skyrocketed to 56.5, and there's no doubt about it, guys. Ohio State, explosive offense. Wisconsin, no slouch either, coming in averaging 35.8 points a game compared to Ohio State's 49.9 points a game. All right, Ohio State 11-3-1 against the spread so far with no head coach day with Urban Meyerless. Ohio State, Wisconsin 2-8 against the spread. Their last 10 games against big play passing teams, averaging more than 8.3 yards per passing attempt. Old Ohio State averaging 9.3 yards per passing attempt. Wisconsin 6-1 on the under, dating back the last 2 years when they're ranked as an AP top 10 team. Why is Ohio State a wrecking crew? Dustin H hit the nail on the head. NFL caliber players, recruiting, 5-star recruiting. Exactly. NFL offensive line, NFL running back, wide receivers.
No doubt about it. Dustin H. Professor Kyle Earl of Capping University. As far as this game goes, guys, Ohio State 9-3. You bet on them. They definitely made you some money this year. Last time these two teams played, oh wait, that was already this year. Rematch. Ohio State won 38-7. If you guys remember, just October 26th. Just not that long ago, month and a half ago. Guys, hope you guys don't have too short of a memory. That game did go under the total of 47.5. They hit 45. 45 might have been one of the lowest. It was the lowest total of the year for Ohio State. They had a 50 against Northwestern that they went over. They had a 51 against Michigan State that went under. That was the only total that they had that was in the 40s, and here they are with a total much higher, 56.5. Well, I think they're adding an extra 9 to 10 points for the fact that they're playing in the Lucas Oil Stadium inside. All right, so absolutely, Tyson, absolutely big difference in weather. So you add in the non-weather factor of playing inside at Lucas Oil Stadium, where you're gonna take that out of the equation. So let's take a look at Ohio State on the year. Ohio State 12-0 on the year, guys. Coming in ranked first in the college football playoff rankings. They beat up Lane Kiffin and his Florida Atlantic Owls 45-21. They did not cover the 27.5 point spread, and then they rattled off 8 straight games covering the spread. All right, and obviously they won outright as well. Against Cincinnati, they covered the 14.5 point spread. They beat them 42-0. That game went under the total of 52. Because Cincinnati couldn't put up a point, they got a goose egg. They covered the spread, laying 17.5 against Indiana. They beat them 51-10. That game went over the total of 59.5. They covered the 38.5 against Miami of Ohio, beating them 76-5. It went over the total of 56.5. All by Ohio State self by over almost 20 points, 19.5 points they beat the total by. Against Nebraska, they covered the 17 points. They beat them 48-7. Went under the total of 66. Against Michigan State, they covered the 20. They beat them 34-10. That went over the total. Against Northwestern, they covered the 27.5, beating them by 52-3. Hell, they beat the total of 50 all by themselves. Thank God, because Northwestern didn't help out when they only put up 3. Against Wisconsin, they covered the spread. They covered the 14.5 points in their very first meeting. They beat them 38-7, as well as that game went under the total of 47.5. There was 45 as well. Against Maryland, they covered the 43 points that they were laying. They beat them 73-14. They had a total of 66.5. They didn't even need the 14 points, the 2 touchdowns that Maryland scored to push the total over. Rutgers, they were laying 51.5. They did not cover the 51. Matter of fact, they only put up 56 on Rutgers. They beat them 56-21. That game went over the total of 63, but they failed to cover the spread. And their other game, their third game that they failed to cover the spread was against Penn State. They were laying 20.5. They beat them 28-17. They beat them by 11. Went under as well, under 58. We saw a total of 45 scored. So we were 2 touchdowns away from hitting the over on that one as well. And that wraps up Ohio State's number 1 ranking in their season on the year. No doubt about it. I agree with you right there. LSU's resume is far superior. Ohio State, no slouch in their conference. Obviously, Michigan State's not what they used to. Northwestern's not what they used to. Wisconsin coming in 8th, who they've already beat. Maryland is Maryland. And, they did get the victory over Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, but I think they do that every single year, and they just proved they'll do it again without Urban Meyers. Now taking a look at Wisconsin and their 10-2 season. They covered the spread 7 out of 12 games, and half of them went over. The other half went under. All right. I can tell you Ohio State is 10-1 straight up, 8-2-1 against the spread in their last 11 meetings between these two teams. Wisconsin 6-1 on the 6-1 on the under as an AP top 10 team, and they are ranked 8th. All right, guys. Tom says it's a nice day in Wisconsin, not today. I bet it is. I bet it is a nice day up there. All right, guys, they started out the year. They rattled off 6 straight victories. They lost 2, came back with 4 more to end the season. They actually covered the spread 5 out of the first 6 games. They covered the 10 against South Florida. They beat them 49-0. It did not go over the spread of 58. They covered the 35 against Central Michigan. They beat them 61-0. Luckily, they scored 61 to put it over the total of 54 for all the overbackers there. They covered the 3 against Michigan in the fourth week of college football after their bye on week 3. They beat them 35-14. They covered the 3 points, and it also went over the total of 45 as well. And then they ran into Northwestern. They beat them 24-15. They did not cover the 22.5 points that they were laying, and it also did not go over the total of 46 either. Next, they had a gimme game against Kent State. They were laying 35. They beat them 48-0. It went under the total of 58. They were laying 8 against Michigan State. They beat them 38-0. They goose-egged Michigan State. They had 2 games back-to-back against Kent State, Michigan State, where their defense did not give up a single point. Obviously, those games went under. Matter of fact, they actually had 5 straight unders in the middle of the season. And then after Michigan State, they had Illinois. They were laying 29.5. They did not cover the spread, and they lost. And they absolutely lost. If you guys remember, they'd be a much higher ranking if they didn't lose to Illinois. They lost 24-23. The fact that they actually lost Illinois and that they're still ranked 8th, that's saying a lot. All right, now if this was a Pac-12 team like we were talking about 20 minutes ago that lost to an Illinois team, they would have been, booted down to Division II rankings. But they did lose 24-23. The game went under. They came back, and they had their second of 2 losses on the year was to Ohio State. They lost 38-7. All right, guys, they lost to 30, by 31 points. They got slaughtered. Ohio State dominated from start to finish. They were catching 14.5 points with a total of 47.5, and actually stayed under by 2.5 points. They came back. They rattled off 4 straight victories, 4 straight overs. They picked up their offense. But as far as that, their defense also gave up points. Close affair against Iowa. They beat them 24-22. They were laying 7.5. They failed to cover the spread. It actually went over the super low total of 37.5. If you guys remember correctly, we were on the over on that game. I believe it was a premium play on that one over 37.5. I think I gave it to you guys free too. And then against Nebraska, they beat them 37-21. They covered the 14 points that they were laying barely, and it went over the total. And then against Purdue, they covered the 24.5, or they did not cover the 24.5. They actually won by 21, 45-24. But it did go over the total of 48.5. Heck, Wisconsin barely put it over all by themselves. And then against Minnesota to end the year, 38-17, dominating there. We had the over last week, as well as Wisconsin. We actually took Wisconsin on the money line last week. I actually gave it to you guys as a huge lean during the live show last Saturday, and completely dominated Minnesota. And I don't know how many people were on the Minnesota bandwagon. Minnesota's a great team, and when they're not playing a quality defensive and offensive program. When Minnesota plays defense or plays against a team that has a solid defense, last week is what happens, 38-17. Okay, they had their claim to fame. They got rid of Penn State, but we all know Penn State has no defense. So, with that being said on this one, guys, taking a look, both offenses love to run the ball. Wisconsin averages 45 rushing plays to 23 passing plays. Ohio State averages 48 rushing to 27 passing plays. They average 75 offensive snaps a game compared to the 68. So, one of Ohio State's key things is, they play fast, they snap the ball a lot, and they're definitely going to try and control time of possession and keep Wisconsin off the field. That's going to be number one key. Turnovers on downs, both of them are in the plus category, but no doubt about it, Ohio State's defense leading them huge in the turnover department, plus 12 in turnovers compared to the plus 2 of Wisconsin. Both defenses are very capable to stop the run. Wisconsin averages giving up just 97 rushing yards a game at 3.3 yards per rush. Ohio State even better than that at 91 rushing yards a game at 2.6 yards per carry as well. And both teams very, very, very good at defending the pass. Wisconsin giving up just 180 a game, and Ohio State giving up just 141 a game. Both defenses are holding teams to just around, Wisconsin just over 2 touchdowns a game at 14.6 points per game on average. Ohio State coming in at 11.8. So one thing's going to have to break here. You've got two offenses averaging, a lot of points, 35.8 points a game for Wisconsin, 49.9 for Ohio State. Two high-flying offenses, two strong defenses. And you can take a look at what they did in a very piss-poor weather game where they met just, a month and a half ago. And they barely clipped the total, although the total's 10 points higher here. So they factored in that extra 2 touchdowns into this total here. So they could be trying to trap you on the total. It could be a defensive game, but one thing's got to break. But as far as this game goes, I've got no lean on this one just yet, folks. Side or total, I don't have anything that I'm leaning on this one. But if you take a look, some of these games, there may be some great situations for team totals or first half team totals, which are, not something that I always play. But I definitely, time from time to time, take a quick look at them to try and see if there's anything there. And there's actually been a line change on this one, guys. There's actually been a line change on this one as of right now on 5 dimes. The line is actually down to 16 on 5 dimes. Wisconsin plus 16. They just took a nice big wager there. They're plus 16, minus $1.10, minus 16 for Ohio State. And let's see, the total is still sitting at the same 56.5. And so that's actually changed since we've actually been talking about them, because it was at 16.5. So maybe somebody from here went and bet a nickel or a dime on them and pushed the total over. Who knows? Frankie Diamond says Wisconsin covers the spread. Maybe it's old Wisconsin bet coming in from old Frankie Diamond there on 5 dimes, dropping the line from 16.5 to 16. So as of this one, guys, no lane on the Wisconsin Ohio State game just yet. Fast Freddy, do I have any big leans? Yeah, I might have some big leans when we get to the NFL as well as college basketball for today. But as far as the live look aheads, we're just previewing the conference championship games. That's all we're doing, is we're just previewing them, taking a look at them, seeing what looks juicy as of right now, but no official bets, no official leans as of right now. This is just all live look aheads, taking a look at this game. Wisconsin's team total over 20, Ohio State over 36.5. Team total for 36.5. When's the last time Ohio State scored less than 36.5? Well, it was against Michigan State. They put up 34. All right, only, as well as Penn State, they put up 28. Only 2 times this year, Ohio State did not score more than 36.5 points. All right, now Wisconsin putting up 20. That's their team total. How many times did they not put up 20 this year? Once, and their loss to Ohio State, they put up 7 points. So that might be a juicy one right there to take a look at as well. So assuming Ohio State's defense comes back to play. Heck, even the first quarter total is over 10.5. First quarter total is over 10.5. First half line, Ohio State laying 6.5 first quarter. First half line on this one has Wisconsin at 10 points. Over 9.5 is minus $1.50. Ohio State over 19.5 minus $1.30. So 5 dimes all banking on there being some points scored. MLB says he hopes the public keeps hitting Wisconsin to drop the line. Even better for the Ohio State backers. That's what he's getting at. And if you take a look, and I'll tell you where the money's at. Although I don't care where the money's at. I watch line movements and all that, but I don't care who's betting where. It's not going to affect where I'm betting. But I may wait to bet a certain thing, knowing that the line's going to drop. That I will use. But as of right now, it's still heavy on Ohio State. 81% still coming in on Ohio State, just 19% on Wisconsin. So a lot of money still on Ohio State. So we're going to have to see some big bets come in on Wisconsin, some some big public action, maybe some sharp action, hammer in the 16 or 16.5 to really drop that line. I don't think you'll, MLB, I don't think you'll get it down to much lower than 16. Maybe 15.5 or 15 if some big public bets come in, but I don't think this is a game that'll drop 4 points down to 2 touchdowns. All right, next one that we're going to do, folks. We got 2 left, and then we're going to move into the NFL. Try and skip through these ones a little faster. I know we're taking some time on them on the live look-aheads. Next one that we're going to do. And guys, first of all, for everybody that's new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you haven't already done so, make sure you guys write down below. If you're on your mobile device, phone or tablet, X out of the live chat for just a second. You can go back, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you get notified every single time we go live. Our big Cyber Monday extended sale, Black Friday extended sale, those are going to be ending soon, guys. All right, those are going to be ending soon. You get a month of my personal plays for $500. It's $125 a week, guys. $125 a week. You can pick up 3 months for $1,000. It's even cheaper than that. All right, even cheaper than that. So killer deals there all the way around, no matter which way you look at it. I mean, heck, you can get 3 months of my personal plays on average for $83.33 a week. Get premium plays $7.49 a month. Even cheaper than that, you buy a bigger long-term deal. Get 2 weeks of premium plays on sale for $2.49, or 2 weeks of my personal plays. We always have that 3 days, $99, guys. UFC on sale for $2.50. So killer deal. UFC fight picks will be posted tomorrow as well. UFC fight picks will be posted tomorrow. So gonna have a free play for you guys here in a little bit as well. If you guys want another free NFL free play, we already have one posted in our daily free play video. Make sure you guys watch that video as well as the live. Make sure you guys come watch us live. Well, you already are watching us live, but make sure you watch the pre-recorded video when we're done here as well. That way you guys get on that free play, because I think that free play is a nice big winner. Yeah, FAU. The only conference championship game that is not Saturday is Friday. That's the Pac-12 game. Everything else is Saturday. Saturday spread out over time. Starting at noon. I think we got 3 noon games. And then the Wisconsin-Ohio State game is the evening game. All right, guys, we're going to jump into the bottom 2 games. We're going to do the Big 12 championship between Baylor and Oklahoma. I think I froze the computer screen again, so hang on one. Next one up. Baylor and Oklahoma coming up next. This one we see actually a much higher total, and believe it or not, I believe this is the highest total of the conference championship games, beating Hawaii and Boise State by a hook. As of right now, Baylor +9, catching 9 points against Oklahoma, who's laying 9 total, over and under 64 points. We've got the 6th and 7th ranked team. Baylor coming in 7th, Oklahoma coming in 6th. Going to be facing off both of these teams, and primarily Oklahoma, if they want to get in. Same thing with Baylor. All right, Baylor, 1-loss team. Oklahoma, 1-loss team. If they want to get in the football playoffs, you know, they're going to need a couple things to happen. First of all, they're going to need Georgia to get beat big time by LSU. All right, Georgia's got to lose. Georgia's the weak link that's got to go if one of these two teams want to get in. And then obviously they're going to need the Ducks to beat Utah for a clean sailing. All right. If the Ducks beat Utah, Utah's out. And then obviously, you know, Oklahoma or Baylor will, whoever wins between these two teams, will have a valiant effort to get in. Taking a look at both of these teams, Baylor 11-1,
Oklahoma 11-1. Baylor 8-4 against the spread, 6-6 on the over. Same thing, 6-6 for Oklahoma on the over, 5-7 against the spread. But you got to remember, they may be 6-6 on the over, but that's because they've got a lot of high totals. More so for Oklahoma, who saw totals of 79 in one game, 76.5 in another, 77 in another. They actually covered when there's been a total of over 70 points this year. Oklahoma actually went 3-2 on the over when the total's been over 70 points, over 71 actually. Baylor did not see a total in the 70s. They saw a couple 68s. They saw a 68 against Oklahoma when they already played. They saw 68.5 against Oklahoma State. Those were the two high ones when they played the Oklahoma teams, the Oklahoma contingencies. All right, guys. Baylor 9-1 against the spread. Their last 10 games played in the month of December. This is a solid end-of-year team right here. Oklahoma just 1-6 against the spread. Their last 7 games against decent rushing teams, averaging more than 4.4 yards per carry. Old Baylor averaging 5 yards per carry, 186 a game on 37 carries on average. Oklahoma 15-6 on the over their last 5 years against decent passing defenses, yielding less than 6.5 yards per attempt. Taking a look at the opening numbers on this one, Oklahoma came in laying 9.5. It's actually down to 9. Like we were saying, total on this one opened up at 63.5, and we actually have it up a full point to 64.5. Joseph, we're going to be talking about the Cowboys and Bears game when we're done with the conference championship live look ahead. So we've got this game and one more game, then we'll talk about the NFL. But if you want a free play on that game, our daily free play video already has a free play out on that game. All right, guys, both one-loss programs. Oklahoma's only loss of the year coming to Kansas State. I know, it's painful for you. Did I say Ohio State? Oklahoma. Oklahoma, one loss. I'm still thinking about Ohio State, the last breakdown. Oklahoma, one-loss team. Their only loss on the year came to K-State, guys. They lost 48-41. I'm not going to lie, I laughed when that happened. All right? Went way over the total of 59. We were on the over on that game. We did not lay Ohio State. Matter of fact, we did not take Ohio State in a lot of situations whenever they were laying the big juice. But I did laugh. I got a very good laugh when they lost to K-State. Now, Baylor's only loss on the year came just, a month ago. Not even a month ago. November 16th to, Oklahoma, who they're facing today. They lost in a very close game, 31-34. They were at home. This game, guys, neutral site game, AT&T Stadium, indoors. So wherever, for everybody that doesn't know, this is going to be where the Dallas Cowboys play. All right. Definitely Baylor looking for revenge. Revenge is one thing that you guys got to remember, revenge is often overhyped, over handicapping angles, trying to talk about this is a revenge game, and they did have that gut-wrenching loss. No doubt about it. They had a gut-wrenching loss to the Sooners. And, I think revenge does apply here. Baylor wants to get into the playoffs. They're going to have to, they're going to need a miracle. They're going to need, obviously, they're not going to just need to beat Oklahoma. They're going to have to blow them out. They're going to need the Ducks to beat Utah, and they're going to need LSU to get rid of Georgia in convincing fashion. Taking a look at some of their previous games that they played, 2018, these two teams played, it wasn't even close. Oklahoma doubled the 33 points that Baylor scored. They beat them 66-33. We saw 99 points scored in that game. The over is hit 3 out of the last 5 times. However, Baylor, believe it or not, is 11-6 against the spread, dating all the way back to 2013. These are two teams that play yearly. All right, guys. So a great record there against the spread, dating all the way back. Some historical data there for you guys. But most of the times, just in 2017, they were catching 28 points. They beat them 49-41 in a close game there that played in Baylor.
So Baylor has not beat them. Oklahoma, they covered the spread, but they have not beat them outright. 5 straight victories for Oklahoma. Taking a look, guys, at what teams. I'm not going to read the whole history of the schedule and what games went over and under because I want to try and skip along a little faster. That way we can get to the NFL as well as some college basketball because we've already been live for 2 hours and we've got a little more to go. Live look ahead on this one, guys. Baylor averaging 36.2 points a game on offense. Oklahoma Sooners, guys, 44.3 points a game. Super high scoring. Their defense is no slouch either, although Oklahoma, they have improved their defense. I do give them that. They have improved their defense to the point that they're only giving up 24.7 points per game. They're holding teams to 196 in the air, which I like to see, but they're giving up 141 yards on the ground on 33 carries. They're giving up 4.2 yards per rush, and that's going to factor into, Baylor. Baylor's going to run the ball. Oklahoma's going to run the ball. Both of these run-heavy programs, both average, well into the high 30s, early 40s as far as run plays go. Baylor averaging 37 runs at 186 yards a game, 5 yards a carry. Oklahoma averaging 41 rushing plays at 260, averaging 6.4 yards per carry, a huge number there. And they're going to be going up against a Baylor defense that gives up 144 rushing yards a game and holding teams to 3.8 yards. And we know what they did in the past. So Oklahoma should have no problem running the ball. Baylor should have no problem running the ball as well as moving the ball down the field. Both teams are very capable to move the ball down the air. Oklahoma averaging 304 yards a game on throughout the air at 11.3 yards per passing attempt. Baylor coming in at 8.5 yards per passing attempt at 259 yards on average a game at 31 passing plays a game. And both teams will be going up against, fairly decent teams that defending the pass. Baylor giving up just 209 yards in the air and Oklahoma giving up 196. There is, one key that I do look for in this game. And actually there's a lot of keys, but there's one big key that I look for in this game and in this situation, and that's the turnovers. That's the turnovers and what each team's going to be able to do with turnovers. Oklahoma on the year is -5 on turnovers. Turnovers have plagued this Oklahoma team from covering spreads throughout the year, as well as pushing game totals over and getting that extra score, giving up some points to some sloppy teams. They're -5 on turnovers. Baylor +12 winning the turnover battles all year long. So hats off to Baylor, the Baylor Bears, +12 on turnovers on a 12-game season. So I definitely look for the turnover advantage to give Baylor an extra possession, possibly 2 in their favor if they play clean and they're able to take advantage of an Oklahoma team that does give up turnovers. So that'll be one key factor. As far as this game goes, as far as the total being 64.5, the last time that they just played, they hit 65. So, odds makers are keeping, the total exactly, the same. This will be an indoor game. Weather will not be a factor, but there's definitely some things that we're going to need to factor in over the next couple days and watch some injury reports. There's been, obviously the flu going around. I did hear some rumors from the Oklahoma program that there are some key players that have been battling the flu. I don't know if they're true or not just yet. So that's, one thing that we need to factor in and, is, the health of the team and who's going to be playing, who's not, who's going to be making the final walkthrough come Friday and see who comes out on that final injury report or listed as game time decision. So it's one thing that we want to factor in, especially on some of our bigger plays. So as far as this one goes, the total, I think the total is set perfectly right, although they're making it confusing because, they're moving the game to an indoor game where weather will not be a factor. The weather will not be in any part of the equation for these kids playing in the AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play. And when you're looking at a total being set over and under 64.5, they hit 64 in their game just, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. So, or they hit 65, excuse me. So it's they're definitely throwing you a slight curveball by not increasing the total to factor into the indoor game in the fair weather that they'll be playing on turf. And you look at the money aspect of where everybody's betting on this game, and it's fairly 50-50, 53% rolling with the over, 47% rolling with the under, 62% rolling with the Bears, 38% with the Sooners. So against the spread's got a little extra action, which has got the line dropping on Baylor. So as far as this game goes, no lean on this one yet. No, JD, game of the week is not posted yet. Whenever we post this, and I tell everybody this every single week, when we post a game of the week or guaranteed Saturday or any of our big plays, we always email out. So just check your email. If you get an email, great. If you don't, it means it's not posted. If you log onto the website and you don't see it, it means it's not posted. That I assure you. Now, if it's come game time and you don't have access to it, then definitely reach out. But no, we will email everybody when my game of the week is posted. We'll email everybody when Guaranteed Saturday is posted. We'll email everybody. Hell, we don't just email. It gets posted on my Twitter. It gets posted on our YouTube community page when the NFL play gets posted as well for Sunday. So when all those plays get posted, I promise you guys will be first to be notified. We always notify you guys. All right, last one that we're going to do, guys, before we jump into the NFL segment. LSU, Georgia. All right, LSU, Georgia, guys. SEC championship game. This is the next one that we are going to do. And actually, slight little bit of a line movement. Slight little bit of a line movement over at 5 Dimes since we started the show. See if I can... we'll get that on the screen so you guys can see the difference. They're trying to keep this magic number at 7. All right, line opened up. LSU laying 4. It's now at 7. It was at 7 minus $1.10, plus 7 minus $1.10 for Georgia. Total over and under 54.5. Line on this one opened up. Total opened up at 56. It's down 1.5 to 54.5. And as we said, the line actually opened up LSU laying 4, but it didn't last long. I mean, Sharps absolutely pounded LSU laying 4. Here they are laying 7. They just took 5 Dimes just took a nice size wager on Georgia plus the 7. They're trying to keep that line at 7. They just moved the juice on it from minus $1.10 to minus $1.15 if you want Georgia plus the 7. The next step would probably be to move it to 7.5, but they're trying to keep that magic number. They might even move it to minus $1.20 or $1.25, maybe even a minus $1.30, and make LSU even money at minus 7. So they're trying to keep that number at that magic number of 7, a touchdown. Total over and under 54.5 as well. Now, as far as this game goes, let's dive right into it, guys. We just did the from opening to where it's at now. And remember, after this, we'll jump into the NFL game for Thursday Night Football. For everybody that doesn't know, neutral site game, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia, where the Falcons play. So you want to talk about a neutral site game? Nah, take it out of the equation. LSU, they definitely travel, and they travel well. No doubt about that one. Cousins, I think he won 2 SEC titles with LSU, as well as a national championship with LSU, or 3 SEC titles and a national championship, I think. It's either 2-1 or 3-1, one of the two. But LSU travels well. Their alum travels well. Their former players travel well. But so does Georgia. And here they are, guys. They get the neutral site game there in Atlanta. So if you want to call it a neutral site game, and it's definitely home field advantage for Georgia, just playing in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Both teams very well equipped, as well as very well versed playing in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Both of them been there multiple times before, all right? First of all, let's take a look at, when's the last time these two teams played each other? Last October 13th. All right, LSU beat them 36-16. But there is no denying Georgia has always been a top program for years in the past. And but there's no denying this is a new LSU team. At Oregon displayed their wide open offense this year, and it has absolutely shown to the tune of a 12-0 record. All right, 12-0 record. Georgia 11-1 straight up, 7-5 against the spread, 3-9 on the over. They're actually 9-3 on the under. All right, out of 12 games, 9 of Georgia's games have all gone under the total. LSU 12-0 straight up, 7-4-1 against the spread. Out of their 12 games, 8 have gone over the total as well. Stat Quap. These games are for Friday and Saturday, Pac-12 Championship Friday. That's why it's the live look ahead. We've been saying we're going to be doing this all week long, Wednesday and Thursday, and then moving into the Thursday regular stuff. 12 games LSU's played, 8 have gone over the total. LSU 17-6-2 against the spread against decent passing teams in their last 25 games, averaging more than 7.5 yards per attempt. Georgia just 2-5 against the spread their last 7 games on a winning streak of 6 or more games. Georgia 8-2 on the over versus an opponent who's in the AP top 5. Tar Heel Tim, thanks for joining us. Better late than never, my brother. Keep in mind these two teams have only played each other once in the last 6 years, and that was last year with LSU beating them by 20. It stayed under, actually it went over the total of 50. They hit 52 total. LSU was the home dog catching 6.5, and they beat Georgia. If you guys remember correctly, I actually gave that to you guys as a free play last year. LSU plus 6.5 to beat Georgia. Matter of fact, I told you guys to take the money line. Just like I told you guys to take the money line against Alabama this year as well. But let's run through their programs. Georgia, the one-loss program. LSU, the undefeated. Georgia's only loss on the year came to, South Carolina, losing 20-17. Beat them down. How they're still ranked, I mean, obviously, they've got some quality wins on their program, but I do think that Georgia's schedule is very weak. We can talk about that later in the weekend once they announce after this weekend. We can announce, or after they announce who's in and who's out. We can go over Georgia's schedule because I think it's one of the weaker teams that's actually in the top 4 for the college football playoff race. Wins over Vanderbilt, beating them 30-6. Murray State 63-17. Arkansas State 55-0. Notre Dame, they beat 23-17, quality win. Tennessee, they beat 43-14. South Carolina, they lost to 20-17. They beat up Kentucky 21-0. Florida 24-17. Missouri 27-0. Auburn 21-14 in a close game there. We actually took Georgia against Auburn. Matter of fact, I gave that to you guys for free during a live show. Also, they beat up Texas A&M. They did not cover the spread there, and they just beat Georgia Tech to end the year. So as far as Georgia's program goes, extremely, for an SEC team, weak schedule. I mean, they had a neutral site game against Florida that they beat by 7. Big wins on the year, I'd have to say, would be Notre Dame and Florida and Auburn. Obviously, Auburn getting the job done against Alabama last week, so says a lot about that win, though, but it was a close game. Now, somebody's going to go out there and they're going to tell you over the total is 7-1 in the last 8 meetings. Throw that shit right out. All right, these two teams have only played each other one time in 6 years. Full disclaimer and a warning right there. All right, full disclaimer and a warning right there. Somebody wants to tell you that shit, throw it right out the window, and just know that they're feeding you bullshit. I mean, it is true, it's historical data, but it has no bearing in what's going to happen in this game. What happened 6, 8, 10, and 12 years ago, and 14 years ago, is not going to matter in this situation here today, or Saturday, excuse me. So as far as these two teams go, you take a look at LSU, you take a look at strength of schedule, you take a look at everything, and LSU is the real deal. LSU, Ohio State should definitely, hopefully, be facing off against each other in national championship game if all works out for both programs. But hey, it's college football. Anything can happen. Any team can have a bad day on any given day. They opened up the year with a massive win over Georgia Southern. They beat them 55-3, debuting their new wide-open, high-flying offense. They took care of Texas in a close game there, 45-38, when Texas was a much higher-ranked team. They beat up Northwestern 65-14. They beat Vanderbilt 66-38. They came back. They beat Utah 42-6. They beat Florida 42-28. They beat Mississippi State 36-13. They beat Auburn by 3, 23-20. They beat Alabama 46-41 in a game that I told you guys to take LSU plus the 5, as well as the money line, as well as the over. And I even said there'd be over 41 points in the first half, and they scored 43 in the first half. Mississippi, Ole Miss, guys, they beat 58-37, and then they beat Arkansas 56-20, and then just got rid of Texas A&M 50-7. So quality 12-0 season right there. Big wins all the way around. Big W's all the way down the box. They covered the spread 7 out of 12 games with one push, 7-4-1. And out of the 12 games that they played, 8 of them went over. First 4 went over as well, as 3 out of their last 4. And their game against Texas A&M failed to go over for the fact that Texas A&M only put up 7 against an LSU defense that's only given up. That's given up 22.1 points per game. You know, that's one of LSU's problems, is they've been giving up points, to some sloppy teams. They gave up 38 to Texas. That was a great game there. That was an absolute great game, if you guys remember the beginning of the season. But they gave up 38 to Vanderbilt. Yeah, they beat them 66-38, but they gave up 38 to Vandy. They gave up 4 touchdowns to Florida. They gave up 20 to Auburn. They gave up 41 in their win against Alabama. They gave up 37 against Mississippi. They gave up 20 against Arkansas. All right, and yeah, as Skip said, the LSU offense ain't the same as Georgia's used to seeing. Georgia's defense is good. Chip says, LSU's defense not as good as Georgia, but also underrated. No doubt about it. As far as defensive edges go, I give a defensive edge to Georgia. I really do. They're giving up just 10.4 points a game. I think the quality of opponent is less than what LSU played, which I have a factor in, but they're only giving up 71 rushing yards a game, 186 in the air. They're +2 on turnovers. But LSU, guys, their numbers are not bad. They give up 22.1 points a game. That's the only one that cautions me there, is that they'll probably give up some points to Georgia. They holding teams to 124 yards rushing at 3.7 yards per passing attempt, per run, and they give up 221 in the air at 6.5 yards per passing attempt. But LSU +6 on the turnovers. As far as rushing the ball goes, slight little edge to Georgia. But as far as that in the air game, there's no denying LSU putting up 390 yards a game in the air and 170 on the ground, guys. These guys are averaging 560 yards of offense a game compared to the 421 of Georgia. All right, it's the reason why they're near 49 points. The reason why they're averaging nearly 7 touchdowns a game. Georgia 8-2 on the over. Their last 10 games versus a top 5 AP top ranked team, and obviously they get LSU. And Georgia, just 2-5 against the spread on a winning streak of 6 or more games, and they've won 6 straight. So as far as this game can't talk. We've been talking for so long. As far as this game goes, guys, I have no lean on the side of this game. I think we could be surprised on the total on this game. Sitting at 54.5. Obviously, there's no denying LSU's offensive capabilities. Let's see, what's the least they put up this year? They put up 36 against Mississippi State, 23 in a low-scoring affair to Auburn, which was a 21-14 final against Georgia. Both teams are going to play each other very similar in that aspect. You can take a look, like when You can't really compare. You can't factor into the equation anything that both teams did against Texas A&M, because Georgia struggled against Texas A&M, where LSU absolutely dominated them. But yeah, Jake Fromm's going to play well in these games. He comes to play in big games, no doubt about it. He comes to play in big games. How is the LSU quarterback going to play in a huge game like this? Well, remains to be seen. I mean, this is going to be the biggest game of his career, no doubt about it, for the transfer, and remain to be seen. I mean, SEC championship game for an SEC title, for that SEC ring. There's no doubt about the pressure that's going to be on both of these kids, and Fromm is coming to play. That's a fact. LSU, Coach O going to be in for a good game. He'll definitely have his what did he say? Roll Tide, FU. He'll have the same thing for the Bulldogs, I'm sure, and he'll have his players pumped up. And I'll be honest with you guys. I know a lot of the players that played for Coach O at LSU, even when he was just an assistant there, and he gets the team on his side. They listen to him. This is a coach that players believe in. They like. He's not just that stereotypical Louisiana Southern boy. I mean, this is a guy that absolutely pounds in success and perfection and demands it, but at the same time he treats his players right, and he's got their respect, and they play for him. So this is the reason why we broke down this one last. This will be, to me, the biggest game of the weekend, and unfortunately we don't get the evening game on it. Unfortunately, this is the middle of the afternoon. This is the middle of the afternoon game, 4 p.m. Eastern time game. So I was hoping this would be the evening game that we would get, because this is by far the marquee matchup of the weekend. This should definitely be one of the closer games. So LSU going to cover the 7. We're going to find out, but early look ahead, I lean towards kind of lean towards the under, kind of what happened when they both played Auburn. Low scoring affairs. 23-20 final for LSU, and a 21-14 final for Georgia when they both played Auburn. So I can see that happening, but I could plead a case for why both Jake Fromm and LSU, both offenses explode on the defenses. I mean, look what happened to LSU against Alabama, as well as Mississippi State. I mean, we saw 95 points. Yeah, LSU put up 58 of them, but we saw 95 total points on that one. So no real lean on this one. Taking a look at some team totals on this. LSU comes in team total over and under 31 minus $1.10. Georgia coming in at 23. First half team totals on this game. LSU 16.5, Georgia 10.5 on that one. First quarter team totals. There's no first quarter team totals out just yet on 5 dimes. There's a total points scored for the first quarter in this game is set at over and under 10.5 minus $1.20, which seems to be the norm, with the exception of the Oregon game, which is Oregon-Utah over 9.5 first quarter minus $1.20, which bookmakers are leaning towards being a low-scoring contest. So there's that game, guys. That's the live look ahead. We'll dive more in depth on all of these games, as well as all of these programs come come Friday for the Pac-12 championship game, and then come Saturday for all the other games. So don't forget, guys, if you haven't already done so, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're not, thank you for participating, coming and joining us on YouTube every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, where we put the beat down on the books. All right. If you haven't already done so, make sure you do us a huge favor. X out of that live chat button, give us a big thumbs up in the video, and let's have some fun today. All right. Remember, guys, you can jump on board 3 days of our premium plays, 3 days of my personal plays for just $99. Going to be a great time. Going to be a great day today. Premium plays coming off a big 3-in-1 day yesterday, and going to be even better than that today. So, going to be a good day today. Don't miss out. Don't delay. Enter the promo code CD10 for 10% off any package purchased today on the website and the website only. That's special just for you guys in the live show. If you're watching, you need to make that purchase today because it won't be available tomorrow. It's just an added 10% off for you guys, for the faithfuls that tune in live. You know me, I like helping you guys out when I can. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to the NFL, and we're going to break down the NFL game for you guys today. Between the Cowboys and the Bears. So bear with me 1 second while I switch over all my odds and all of that good stuff. Should have that up here in just a quick second. Not much has changed at all today between these two teams. All right, let's move into Thursday night football. I am locked. I am loaded. I am ready to roll. Cowboys laying 3 to the Bears, catching 3. Total still set over and under 43 points, guys. Line actually opened up. Cowboys laying 3 minus $1.20. It has stayed at 3 surprisingly all week long, no matter how much money came pouring in on the Bears. The line has actually stayed the same. It actually dropped down to a minus $1.10 at 5 dimes, as well as everywhere else. I can see that, there's some sharp individuals that liked the Cowboys laying 3, but at the same time, there was some sharp action that came in on the Bears plus 3. Prime time Thursday night game. A lot of money coming in on both sides, and a lot of people trending the under. But again, I hope you guys know that I take no bearing, where anybody's betting. Now, I may take a look at it based on, let's just say I want to bet say I'm going to bet the over. And I can see everybody in the world is pounding the under. 60% of all bets coming in right now, of every dollar coming in, are on the under 43. Okay. The total on this one actually opened up at 43. It's still sitting at 43. It's actually down to 42.5 at CG Technologies and the D Casino. So it's just now on the decline. But let's just say I was going to bet the over on this game. I will monitor where everybody's betting. I don't base that on how I bet. I base it on when I will bet it. All right? I'll base it on when I bet. For instance, 60% betting the under. If more bets keep coming in on the under, at one point, the sharps will probably pound the over unless they just think it's going to be an under game. Public is going to go one way or the other, no matter what anybody does. So if I see the line continually trending to drop, I'll obviously wait to bet the over so I get, a lower line and beat the closing line. Or if I'm going to bet the under, I'm going to take it before that line drops, because obviously, the name of this game obviously is to win. But if you want to win consistently, you have to beat the closing line. So strategic betting will always have you beating the closing line if you're sharp. So for everybody that does tune in, first of all, nice big thank you, and welcome everybody that does tune in with us live. We have been live for a very long time. Jeff, thank you, man. I do appreciate the thumbs up as well. My voice is about gone. Live for 2.5 hours already. 2.5 hours in the from a recap to college championship live look ahead. And it's not like we just spent 3 or 4 minutes on each team or each breakdown. We actually broke them down pretty damn good, better than I actually was anticipating us spending that much time on each program. Hang on 1 second, folks. Give me 1 quick second, guys, and then I'll be right to it. Just got to check one thing real quick. One more second, then we'll be ready to rock and roll in this game. And guys, for everybody that doesn't know, I already have a free play on the total on this game. If you guys are not... Hold on 1 second, guys. Hello. Call me back when we're not live, but you were breaking up. If you just tried calling me, call me back when we're not live. Unless you need something right away. But you were breaking up. I can't hear anything you said. But if you guys are looking for the total on this game, I already have a free play on this game. And it's definitely going to be a good one, that's for sure. And it's in our daily free play video. It's in our daily free play video. You can watch that when we're done here. Hang on 1 quick second, folks. All right, I'm back. Kong, that was you prank calling me. I know it wasn't you because it wasn't your number. But if it was you, I just hit the decline button. I'm just teasing you. Just teasing you. Just teasing you, Kong. I wouldn't have hit the decline button. I would have answered it. Hold on 1 quick second. Okay. All right, we are back. All right, here we go. Thursday night football, guys. Cowboys laying 3, Bears +3, over and under 43.5. First of all, post up in the comments who you guys like, who you guys rolling with as of right now. You rolling with the Bears +3. You taking Cowboys laying the 3. You taking the Bears on the money line. You taking the Cowboys or the Cowgirls, whoever you want to call them on the money line. You taking the over 43 or the under 43. You riding with a first half wager on one of them. Cowboys -1, first half -$1.35 money line. First half total is over and under 21 as well. First half Cowboys total over and under 10.5, over 10.5 +100, under 10.5 -$1.20, and for the Bears over 9.5 is -$1.40 on this one. Over 10.5 is -$1.40. So odds makers with a big prediction that the Bears are going to come out flying and put up over 9.5 points, and they're going to tax you on the juice. Michael says Cowboy laying the 3. This might be a blowout game. Tom says he likes the Cowboys. Aaron likes the Bears. Brad likes the Bears plus the 3. Brian says he likes the boys laying 1.5 first half. Robert says he likes a teaser with the Cowboys plus 3 and over 36.5. I'm not a big teaser guy, but that one right there is pretty attractive. That one right there, Cowboys plus the 3, is very attractive, especially if you could actually get like the Bears to 2.5, and you can get that hook and get by 3.5 in case the old Cowboys were to lose by 3. But I don't think you're going to see that line budge from 3. I really don't. I think they're going to keep it at 3 steadily all day long, and it's actually minus $1.15 right now at the MGM, minus $1.15 on their online app as well. So I don't think that you're going to see any line movement. I will tell you this, though. 80% of all the money coming in is still on the Cowboys. People are backing the Cowboys, the Cowboys, the Cowboys, the Cowboys, the Cowboys. All right, 20% on the Bears, 60% on the under. And when you take a look at both of these two teams, well, let's dive in. They're both 6-6 teams, all right? Both 6-win programs, 6-loss programs. Dallas 7-5 against the spread. 7 out of the 12 games have gone over the total. Bears 6-6 straight up as well. 4-8 against the spread, and 8 out of their 12 games have gone under the total. They're just 4-8 on the over. Kong says the Bears at home is nice, but cannot bet on Trubisky. John Sanchez says under 7.5 first quarter, under 7.5 for minus $1.20 first quarter total. That's an interesting one. Bears first quarter over and under 0.5 point, minus $1.40. Interesting number there. Bears over and under 0.5 point, minus $1.40 first quarter team total. All right, guys, diving into these two teams. They have not faced each other since 2016. So throw that one right out the window when Dallas beat them 31-17. Obviously, it's a different team. On paper, when you take player for player caliber, there's no doubt about it. There's no debating the player personnel, the quality of player, the rankings of players all favor the Cowboys. No doubt about that one. From every position that you go, there's no debating the Cowboys have the better team. However, coach, well, between these two teams, they're probably evenly matched on coaches. Probably both of them deserve to get shit canned and get the pink slip. But no denying that I do believe that this Cowboys team, if they had a different coach, you could read between the lines on some of the former players that have said stuff about the coach and stuff that's been leaked about Jason Garrett, that he doesn't have the locker room. He doesn't have command of the locker room, and that's a problem. That's why they're probably at 6 wins. You take a look. Michael says Dallas is 2-1 on Thursday nights compared to Chicago, who's 2-6. I throw all of that right out the window. If they're playing on Thursday night or Tuesday night, or Thursday night or Monday night or Sunday night football or a regular day game. Taking a look at both of their seasons, let's just take a look at the losses for the Cowboys. When the Cowboys have played a solid team with who's actually a winning program, they're unsuccessful this year. They lost to the Saints 12-10. All right, they lost to Green Bay 34-24. They lost to the Jets 24-22. They should have won that game. Not should have, because they didn't, but they were in New York. They had opportunities and they didn't. So there was a game that between that and the Saints, they had opportunities. Hey Nick, everybody in the public could go against me. That's fine with me, if you know what I mean, Nick. I'll hopefully be cashing in when it's all said and done. Against Minnesota, they lost by 4. All right, quality team in the Vikings, who we just watched get beat by Seattle. Quality loss there to a quality team.
And then obviously, they're riding 2 straight losses. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 games. They started the year with 3 straight victories. They lost 3. They came back. They beat the Eagles and the Giants. They lost to the Eagles. They beat the Lions. Then they just lost to New England, 13-9, as well as losing to the Bills 26-15 in an unacceptable game. A lot of these quality their losses came to extreme quality teams, losing to the Patriots by 4 in Foxborough, losing to Minnesota at home by 4, losing to the Jets by 2 on the road. Obviously, Green Bay beat them by 10, so we won't even talk about that one. Losing to the Saints in New Orleans in the Superdome by 2. Those are all, close games that could have gone either direction with just a play or two. Taking a look at them, Dallas -4 on the turnovers, -4 on the turnovers, +3 for the Bears, +3 on on turnovers for the Bears. Exactly, Robert S. just threw out a great statement, and for everybody that's not on, not watching us on YouTube, you can't see these comments that the viewers are making. So if you're watching on Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, or anywhere else, I hate when that happens. They got to get me a light switch. And I promise, guys, I'll turn my lights off when I leave. All right, I'll turn my lights off when I leave. But Robert S., come over to YouTube. Go to youtube.com. Click on the search Cappers Nation Live or Cappers Direct to come right to our YouTube channel. And then when you get your asses over here, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then you can participate in the live chat with the other 103 plus people that are here right now. But Robert S. posted and said both teams are on 7 days rest. You can throw out anything about records on Thursday night, in my opinion. The Thursday night advantage is based on a short week. That is not the case for either team. Fantastic comment, Robert S., and it's one of the reasons why our chat is very valuable, and we actually encourage it. So if you're watching on Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, or anywhere else, or on our website, come over to YouTube, all right, guys? And when you get over here, when you get your butts over here, click that subscribe button, all right? And if you haven't already done so, guys, do us a big favor. Give us a big thumbs up in the video. Let us know you appreciate all the hard work, all right, guys? It definitely helps to get our video trending when you guys hit that thumbs up button. Just a stupid little interaction as far as hitting the thumbs up definitely helps us in a great way. So we put a lot of work, a lot of time. As you guys can see, we've been live hell for 2 hours and 45 minutes, and we've got at least another half hour to go before we get done with this and some college basketball for you guys, as well as another free play. Robert C. says the Cowboys get the job done. Ray says the Jazz killed me last night. Kind of hard to bet against LeBron James and Anthony Davis at the moment. LeBron James is on a mission. He's not resting. He's not on load management. This guy is just out to absolutely make a statement and prove something, and that's the reasons why we see the Lakers 19-3 on the year. Holy hell. Tom says we're due for some Thursday trivia. Maybe Saturday trivia. I don't know if we got time to do trivia today. We've already been live for 2 hours and 46 minutes. All right, back to this game, guys. Anybody that wants to tell you their head-to-head matchup matters, it doesn't. All right, guys, it doesn't. There's going to be people out there. You're going to see them on TV. You're going to see them on ESPN, Fox Sports. You're going to see Yahoos on Twitter, Yahoos on YouTube that are going to be like, oh, yeah, the over is 6-0 in the last 6 meetings. All right? Anybody who tells you the over is 6-0, stop watching them. All right? They haven't played for 3 years, over 3 years. 3 years and 2 months and 7 days. All right? Before that was 14, 2013, 2012, and 2010, and even farther for the 6th game. So don't listen to any of that BS, all right? What they did in 2016 is going to have no bearing on this game. I promise you that much. Dallas 6-1 against the spread on the road before playing the LA Rams. They get the Rams next week, all right? Chicago 3-11-1 against the spread on Thursday. So there's your Thursday stat for you, folks.
There's your Thursday stat for you. But again, on 7 days rest, throw that shit right out the window. All right, but here's one for you. Chicago 7-0 on the under their last 7 games against strong teams, outscoring opponents by more than 6 points per game. Taking a look at both of these two teams. Bears trending in the right direction. Cowboys trending in the wrong direction. Bears have won 3 out of their last 4 games after dropping 4 straight games to the Raiders, the Saints, the Chargers, and the Eagles. They bounced back with a win over the Lions. They came back. They lost to the Rams 17-7, who the Cowboys get next week. And then they have 2 straight victories over the Giants and the Lions. Both teams are teams that Dallas beat up already. Dallas beat up the Giants 37-18, who the Bears were able to beat 19-14. And they beat up the Lions 35-27, who the Bears beat up 24-20. Tonio Phobe says Cowboys minus 3.5. If you're getting 3.5, your book's robbing you because it's 3 everywhere. Ray says Bears laying 3. And if you need a new book, go check out 5 Dimes. All right, go check out 5 Dimes for the best lines and quickest payouts. Especially if you deal with Bitcoin, just posted a link to them. Let them know you came from here. They are one of our presenting paying sponsors. They're not an affiliate marketing sponsor like you find everywhere else where they make money when you lose. I don't make $1 on it if you guys bet over there. They pay us to advertise on the show. And heck, you might even see a commercial by them here in the very, very, very near future. So make sure you guys go give some love to 5 Dimes. And if you're getting hosed by your local bookie, I'm telling you, go throw a little money on 5 Dimes, build up that account, and let's all make a boatload of money together. Because we're going to have some winners for you guys, all right? And we got some more winners for you. I already gave you guys one free winner in the daily free consensus play video, which obviously either a lot of you guys are fading or maybe you just didn't watch it just yet. Either way, I'm going to make some money tonight regardless if you guys are on the side with me or not. Karen C says, not betting the game, but after watching the boys play like crap against the Bills on Thanksgiving, I think the Cowboys play well tonight. Rookie MVP, what's up, y'all? Glad you can join us. Aaron, absolutely, both mid-level teams at best. KDO says, Cowboys are a way better team than the boy. Cowboys are a way better team. The boys can run and pass against them. The Cowboys defense can stop the Bears offense. Trubisky stinks. The Bears offense is their defense. Cowboys minus 3. Great little assessment there. Taking a look at the Cowboys. They've won 3 out of their last 6 games. They had a little stretch where they beat the Eagles and the Giants. Then they lost to the Vikings by 4. They came back. They beat the Lions by 12, 35, 20, or by 8, 35, 27. Then they came back and they had 2 straight losses. They've lost 2 out of their last 3 games. After beating the Lions, they lost to New England by 4, 13-9, and then they lost to the Bills 26-15 on Thanksgiving. Think Dak will be a starter next year? Yes, I do. I think they'll have a new coach. Dak is the future of that program. He's actually a great quarterback. There's no denying it. The kid's averaging 305 yards passing a game. Not many quarterbacks are hitting over 300, as well as the rushing numbers as well. Dallas averaging 128 yards on the ground, 4.6 yards per carry, 8.2 yards per passing attempt. Everybody's bankroll is different. As far as Nick says, let's say you start with a $500 bankroll, what should your bet size be? Just depends. Some people load 500 into their account, but they've got 50,000 more to play with. Some people load 500 and it's their their rent money. So everybody's situation's different. So to give you a specific number would be inaccurate. And but for the most part, some people do anywhere from 1 to 5%. Some people do more based on what their didn't know if you just everybody's situation is completely different. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, he'll definitely have a job somewhere in the NFL. That's a given. Wouldn't be surprised if it's still with the Cowboys organization. They probably promote him to vice president of operations or president of operations or something like that, and move in a new coach. So especially if they went out against the Bears, the Rams, the Eagles, and then the Redskins, which by all means they should be able to win out. Out of both teams, the Dallas has got a fairly easy schedule to win out against the Bears, the Rams, who'll give them a problem, and then the Eagles and the Redskins. Whereas the Bears, 6-6, their final games, they got the Cowboys, Green Bay, Kansas City, and Minnesota. I could actually see the Bears going 0-4 as a possibility, or maybe 1-3 if they win tonight. But I don't think the Bears are going to beat Green Bay, Kansas City, and Minnesota. I think they've got a tall task ahead of them. Taking a look at the numbers, guys. Dallas averaging 25.8 points a game. With Dak at the helm, they're averaging 305 passing yards a game. As I said earlier, 8.2 yards per passing attempt, 128 yards on the ground, 4.6 yards per carry. They'll be going up against a Bears defense that's given up just 17.3 points a game. They have been stingy, holding teams to 97 yards rushing, but putting up 222 in the air, 6.1 yards per passing attempt. The Bears are +3 on the turnover. That's the one thing that I do like about the Bears, is that they are +3 on turnovers. Cowboys -4, need to be able to control the ball, limit turnovers if they want to have a chance to win today. Now the Bears on offense, let's be honest, Trubisky stinks this year. Kid's having a rough year. He's had some rough times. A lot of it could be also coaching and as well as supporting staff. You have to ask yourself, who do the Bears have, surrounding them? Do they have the caliber of players that some of these other teams have? No, and you're only as strong as your players. Look at Tom Brady. Brady's, by far the best quarterback in the NFL for how many umpteen years, and he'll continue to be until the day he retires. And you can look what he did, when he struggles, it's because his supporting cast around him is not of caliber players around the league. So, put a supporting cast around Trubisky, and I think that, you'd see a much better quality quarterback out of him. That's my personal opinion. Bears, they're averaging 79 rushing yards a game, 3.4 yards per carry. All right, they're averaging just 202 in the air at 5.7 yards per passing attempt. All right, they'll be going up against the Cowboys defense that gives up just 19.7 points per game. They give up 106 rushing yards a game at 4.1 yards per carry. That's a good stat for the Bears. That gives them hope that they might just be able to run the ball. All right, they give up 215 in the air at 6.3 yards per passing attempt. And as I said, they're -4 on turnovers. They have a point differential of not much, 6.1 points is what their average beating opponents by. As Thomas said, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Trubisky got hurt last year, and he hasn't been the same again. But, again, I do believe, you need to put a supporting cast around him. So there are some stats out there that the under is 27-16 this season when the wind blows 10 miles an hour or more, or and primetime unders are 25-15 this season. Guys, it doesn't matter what time of day the game is, all right, or on what day. If it's a primetime game or it's one of the 1 o'clock games on a Sunday, what's going to happen is going to happen. So these people that want to tell you unders are, okay, that's just the way the games have ended. All right, that's just the way the games have rolled. All right, so it being a primetime game and being labeled a primetime game on Thursday because it's the only game on has no bearing on the game actually being over or under. Robert C. says there will be some stupid fumble or interception on the Cowboys tonight, but won't affect the outcome. Cowboys win. I do agree. There'll definitely be some stupid fumble or an interception, a tipped pass at the line that gets returned. Elliott fumbles the ball. Something stupid will happen for the Cowboys. That happens all the time. So as far as the total on this one goes, guys, I already gave you guys a free play on it. It's not in this video. Hold on one second, guys. It's not in this video, it's in our daily free play video. I gave you guys a free play on the total. I think a lot of you probably are either fading me, which is fine. It's all your right to fade me. You guys want to lose, fade me by all means. I'm going to be celebrating tonight from premium plays, my personal plays, and our free play, as well as the free play I'll be giving you guys here in just a little bit. Or maybe you guys just didn't watch that video yet. And if you didn't, it's okay. Still plenty of time. Line is absolutely perfect. Zeke throws an interception for plus 100,000. Book it. Where can I bet it? So it's definitely going to be a good day today, guys. If you want that free play in the NFL on the total, go watch that daily free play video. As far as the side goes, I do have a premium and personal play on this one, and it's going to be a good one. So telling you guys, feel free to jump on board our premium plays. 3 days, $99, $250 for 2 weeks. Killer deal. That's going to be ending. As a matter of fact, I think that deal ends tomorrow. So 3 premium plays today: NBA, NFL, and college basketball. My personal plays, college basketball, and the NFL today as well. So let's make some money together today, guys, and let's get it. So we're going to move right into college basketball. Man, I need a soda or a refill of this coffee. You need a side, please. Well, you can't always have, it's not Burger King, so you can't have it made your way. Unfortunately, sorry to bring you the bad news. But you can have it for $33 a day over the next 3 days. Super easy. Or even cheaper than that. You could actually get our premium plays or my personal plays for $17 a day. I know, sounds pretty... Oh no, Aaron, I don't need a 5-hour energy. It's just my throat. I got no voice left. For $17 a day by buying it for 2 weeks. Killer deal. Kieran Pratt says Cowboys only scored 1 TD in the last 17 road games in the regular season, and Matt Nagy is 9-1 in the last 10 on the under. First quarter under is the play. So, with that being said, it's time to move straight into college basketball. We're going to do a couple breakdowns there for you guys, and then we're going to get you guys on a free play. So let me switch everything over to college basketball for you guys. Not a big slate of games today. Not many exciting ones to choose from for you guys either, unfortunately. We're going to do an interesting one. And I don't know, it's not really interesting, but South Dakota State and Montana. We'll also put you guys on a big lean on that one as well. So we're going to jump right into this one for you guys. Let me switch over my odds to college hoops. It's just a click of the button here. South Dakota State, guys, it opened up as a pick'em. Let's see where 5 Dimes has it. Total on this one opened up at 137.5, and it is up. All right, guys, it is up on this. It should be up 2 points. And this one, you guys do not have to go to added games. It's still sitting as a pick'em, and believe it or not, it's actually up even higher on 5 Dimes right now. It's actually up to 140, which is the same thing that the BetMGM app, William Hill, all have. It's up 2.5 points on the total on this one, all the way up to 140. Team total on both is sitting at 70 apiece as a pick 'em. Alrighty, let's jump right into the breakdown of these two teams. Need to move to the new page. Here we go. First of all, let's take a look at the old road team. All right, guys, take a look at South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits. 6-4 on the year. All right, guys, 6-4 on the year. They're coming off a 14-point loss to Indiana. Before that, they had wins over Samford and Mississippi Valley State. They did lose to Arizona. They held Arizona tough. They lost to 7. If you guys remember correctly, I think Arizona was laying 12 or 13 in that game. We had Arizona. We lost on that one, unfortunately. I believe it was a personal play of mine. And they held strong, and they covered the spread. They only lost by 7. They beat North Alabama by 5. They lost to my Trojans by 18. They lost to Nebraska by 17. Before that, they beat Cal State Bakersfield. It took double overtime to get rid of Cal State Bakersfield, but Cal State Bakersfield, if you guys don't know, it's right above Santa Clarita, California. It's right over the Grapevine. And Cal State Bakersfield has put out some teams that play, play tough. I mean, they may not get the recognition that they deserve. They don't have the 5-star recruits, but they definitely, for a Cal State school, put together a tough and nitty-gritty program. Peru State, that was a gimme game, and University of Texas Rio Grande Valley was also a gimme game. So they have faced some stiff competition in USC, Nebraska, obviously Arizona, who they lost by 7-2, and then Indiana, who they lost by 14-2. Now, when you take a look at Montana State, the 5-3 team coached by Danny Sprinkle, Mr. Sprinkle got his Bobcats to a 5-3. They are coming off a loss to Green Bay, where they lost by 26 points. They held on tough in the beginning of the year to Utah State. They did lose that game on the road. They lost by 8, though. They came back. Obviously, there was no line on the Rocky Mountain game. They beat them by 27. Appalachian State, they beat by 3 on a neutral site game. They went on the road against UNC Greensboro. They actually won by 67-66 in a close game there. And then against Tennessee Tech, they beat them 52-39 in a neutral site game. They lost to Grand Canyon University 69-56. They lost by 13 to Grand Canyon. And obviously, there was no line on the Colorado Christian game, where they beat them by 36 points. And then obviously their most notable game last Saturday, the 30th, losing to Green Bay by 26 points. All right, guys. Taking a look at these two teams side by side. And first of all, you're going to find out that both have shitty defenses. Their whole season is a breakdown. Yeah, no shit. Both have shitty defenses. Both have struggled on the defensive side of things, both San Diego State and Montana State. However, there's no denying that, South Dakota State. I got San Diego State from last night on my mind. That was a nice win. Actually, no, Kong. Vegas was not drunk, making the Jazz favored with LeBron James coming off back-to-back and Anthony Davis having the flu, and the possibility that he wasn't going to sit because a lot of people fell for the Utah Jazz trap, and that's exactly what Vegas wanted. But yeah, South Dakota State, guys, they have a fairly decent offense. They're knocking down 51% from the field, 50.5% from Montana State. When it comes to the three-ball shooting, both teams are below the Division I average. A little more so for South Dakota State, who struggles knocking down threes. They hit just 29.6% from out deep, 32.1% for Montana State. But of all those 2-point plays, every jump shot, layup, and dunk down low, South Dakota State knocking down 55.4%. This actually has them in the 33rd department as far as the top 33 in this category in all of Division I. The Division I average is 48.9, and they're sitting ranked 33rd in this category at converting their 2-point plays. Now Montana State just 51.9%. Shooting from the free throw line, not much of an edge for either team. I see the screen froze with my mouth wide open. That's lovely. not much of an edge from the free throw line. South Dakota State knocking down 71.9%, which is above the Division I average. And then Montana State coming in 0.1% below the Division I average at 69.6%. Both are getting their shots blocked, but more so for South Dakota State, getting their shot blocked 10.2% of the time compared to 7.9% for Montana State. When it comes to coming from the bench, both teams have no problem going to the bench. South Dakota State going to the bench for 31.7% of the minutes. Of all the available minutes played are from bench personnel. They're to 23.9% for Montana State. There is a height advantage by almost an inch and a half height advantage for Montana State. They are the taller, lengthier team. Two-foul participation protocol, that's pretty much null and void at 10% for South Dakota State and just 5.3% for Montana State. So what that means is Mr. Sprinkle, Coach Sprinkle, the Montana State Bobcats coach, he doesn't allow his players to play once they pick up that second foul early. So if Jubilee Bilo, which is their 6'9" sophomore center, if this kid picks up 2 fouls early, which this kid has been in foul trouble, their first game of the year, he had 4 fouls against Utah State. He only played 24 minutes. He fouled out against App State. He only played 16 minutes because he was in foul trouble. You could take a look. The coach likes to get him in there for 28 to 29 minutes on average. In the games where he struggled, Rocky Mountain, he didn't pick up any personal fouls, but he actually, I think he had a pulled or strained calf in that game. So he didn't play very many minutes, but he was the MVP against UNC Greensboro. This is a kid. Belo's going to be a kid from England, guys. International player coming to play. That's going to be a key to them holding this team together. And if he doesn't get the playing minutes, it's definitely going to put a big advantage towards South Dakota State. So if he picks up fouls, he's been in foul trouble in many games. Grand Canyon, Tennessee Tech were the big games that he did not pick up any foul trouble, or UNC Greensboro. But lately, his last 2 games, he's been in all foul trouble. It's the reason why he's averaged 18 points a game over the last two games, 16 against Colorado Christian. He played 16 minutes. He put up 12 points. He went 4-4 from the free throw line. For a big center guy, 6'9" kid from England, went 4-4 shooting from the charity stripes, all right? This is a kid you don't want to put on the foul line. And if you let him stay in the game and he doesn't pick up any fouls, he's gonna hurt South Dakota State. Against Green Bay, he was held at just 20 minutes. He played half the minutes because he was in foul trouble early. He had three personal fouls, but he picked up 2 of them quick, and he rode the bench for much of the first half in that game. And he was limited to 9 points. He went 4 of 6 shooting. He went 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. So both teams do not play. Do not allow their players to play with 2 fouls. Erica Henderson, the coach of the Jackrabbits, South Dakota State guys. No difference in this one. He's not going to allow his players to play. And there's definitely some good kids that have been in foul trouble. And have split playing time. Douglas Wilson, he fouled out in their last game against Indiana. He picked up 2 early against Arizona. He was held to 23 minutes. He had 4 personal fouls against North Alabama, but he did get 34 playing minutes because they came mostly in the second half. He did foul out against USC, but he had 27 minutes. He had 2 fouls late in the first half, so he did ride the bench. He ended up fouling out against Cal State Bakersfield, but that was in overtime, and he played he didn't play double overtime. He fouled out right at the end of the first overtime against Cal State Bakersfield. Both of these 2 teams have the capability to be in foul trouble. As far as shooting free throws, both are not, the best teams when it comes to knocking down free throws. 71.9% and 69.6%. Both rely on 20% of their points all to come from the free throw line. So lean on this game, guys. A lean on this one. I do lean towards the over of 140. I liked it better when it was 137.5, when it was 2.5 points lower. But I lean towards the over in this game for multiple reasons. Teams should be in foul trouble. Just it's what they do, and put people on the line as well. And although Montana State is a slow-playing team, they average holding the ball for 18.2 seconds compared to the 16.9. So they're a little on the slower side
for moving the ball down the court. Skip says he sees it Montana State. Oh, it is Montana State, but it just doesn't show on the screen. It just doesn't show on the screen because, hold on here. I'll fix that for you. Now you'll see it. I had to shorten up south. I'm only limited to so many characters. So there you go. It is Montana State. Thank you, Anthony, for that thumbs up. And guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you get notified every single time we drop a video. It doesn't matter if it's live or pre-recorded. You will be notified, all right? So hit that subscribe button. And then remember, if you want to get on our email list, we're going to start emailing out plays. All right, we're going to start emailing everybody that gets on this new email list, not the one that's being registered on our website. All right, here's a new one that we're going to be doing, guys. We're going to be notifying you guys when we go live, when we drop a special video, or if we put out a free play by email in the very near future, which is going to be starting here any day now. Just click that link below and then put in your email address in the right-hand corner, and then you'll be automatically included in that. So it's just going to be little extra things that we're bringing to you guys to bring you guys more free plays in many different directions. So as far as that one goes, I do lean towards the over. Let me write down that one as well. And if I had to pick a side on this one, I lean toward South Dakota State as a pick 'em as well. So next one that we're going to do another one for you guys, all right? We're going to do another one for you guys, so hang tight. We're going to do another breakdown for you guys. We're going to do the late night chaser special breakdown. Late night chaser special breakdown coming right up. And then when it's all said and done, I'm going to get you guys on a free play because we have been live for a long time. 3 hours and 15 minutes, and it's been a very long show. And as you can tell, I don't have a voice left. So coming right up. Give me 1 second, guys. We gave you that big free premium play on San Diego State laying the 5 last night. How many of you guys took advantage of that? How many of you guys took advantage of that? I know I did. Nice big victory for us. Big victory, let me tell you. Easy victory. If you took advantage of that, post it up in the comments. Don't forget to, when you post on Twitter, to put the hashtag CapNation. And we'll take a look at showing off your plays as well. Roblox for days with the 5 hands up. Matt Ayers, easy money. James H, I did. Joe, yep. Matt K, I did, and thank you. Skip S says he loves the late night chaser headline. Yep, and it was exactly as we said it would happen. San Diego State, the second half team, pulling away late in games when it matters most. Jose, what's going on, sir?
ENB90 says he bet it straight up as well as a 2-team parlay with Air Force -2 for plus 364. Nice cash it, ENB90. Nice one there. Glad to see everybody cashing on the big one yesterday. And we're going to have another big one for you guys today as well. And it's going to be a good time. Going to be a good time today, folks. If you're not already on board, you may want to. It may be very beneficial to jump on board on a day like today. Pick up 3 premium plays, 3 days, $99, including NFL, college basketball, and the NBA. 3 days of my personal plays, $99. $99 will make you holler. And it's going to be a good time. So make sure you get on board. Oh yeah, Jose, you're watching the daily video. We go live noon Eastern. We're normally not live, at 3:30 Eastern time, but we did a breakdown of every college championship game this weekend. Mark Blevin says you took the first half and the second half. Nice job cashing both of them. San Diego State cashing both first half and second half, as well as the game. All right, guys. Well, I knew it would be a 3-hour show. I didn't think it would be a 3.5+ hour show, but I figured we'd be 2.5, 3 hours. But the college football segment took a long time for the live look ahead. All right, guys, late night chaser breakdown so we can get you guys on your way. Bada boom. Furman plus 12.5. Auburn laying 12.5 over and under 148. Taking a look at this one where the opening line opened up exactly where it's at. Opened up 12.5. They're at total is actually up to 148 on 5 dimes. I could actually find it at 147.5 in a couple spots, but for the most part, it's 148. I do see CG Technologies and the D Casino have them at 12, although everywhere else seems to be 12.5 for Auburn. I could refresh the lines on 5 dimes and tell you they're still 12.5 with a total over and under 148 minus $1.10. Was that there yesterday, Kyle, that website? The one where I posted the link to? Yeah. All right, guys, let's get into this breakdown for you guys. Then I want to put you guys on a nice free play and put some money in your pockets. All right, guys, you've got 7-0 Auburn, 7-2 Furman. Let's start with Furman. All right, guys, the Palladians out of Greensville, South Carolina, Bob Ritchie's team coming from the Southern Conference. Coming off a loss to South Florida. They lost by 10 on a road game, guys. Brings their record to 7-2. They haven't entered conference play just yet. It's coming up. They've got a handful of games before conference play. They'll be there right before Christmas time. All right, guys, they opened up the year with 4 straight victories over Gardner-Webb, beating them by 7, 70-63. They beat Loyola Chicago in a high-scoring game, 87-63, in a game where we saw 149 points. They beat Charleston Southern 91-47, a game where they just absolutely dominated them from start to finish on the road. Southern Wesleyan, obviously, gimme game there. Believe it or not, they only beat them by 22. They came their 5th game. They lost to Alabama, 81-73. They lost by 8 there. Columbia International, they doubled their score. Elon, they beat 97-61. UT Arlington, University of Texas, San Antonio Arlington, they beat 58-57 on a neutral site game. Beat them by 1. And then obviously losing to South Florida by 10 on Monday. All right, guys, here they are with their bounce back game. And it doesn't get any easier. They continue that road trip. And they've got the 7-0 Auburn Tigers, guys, the 14th ranked team in the country. Bruce Pearl's got his Tigers rolling. Guys are off to a hot start. As far as competition, have they seen any competition this year? Not so much. All right, not so much. Now, they did have a couple close games. South Alabama gave them a close game. We're going to talk about that here in a second. They're 7-0 on the year. They started out with a win over Georgia Southern. They beat them 83-74. They beat Davidson 76-66. South Alabama gave them a run for their money. They beat them by 1 on the road in a close game where we'd almost see a one-loss Auburn team. It was very capable to happen. They won 70-69. They came back. They beat Cal State Northridge, one of those other Cal State schools. That's actually CSUN. 116-70. And they beat Colgate 91-62. New Mexico 84-59 and Richmond 79-65. Yeah, Fast Freddy, no doubt about it. Bruce Pearl is one emotional coach. And here they are with Furman at home, guys. And they're laying 12.5. They're laying 12.5. The odds makers actually have this one. I think the line's off a little bit. I think it's off from where it should be. And I think we'll be able to see that in the final score. Taking a look at both teams side by side, 7-0 versus 7-2, you're going to find out that Furman's no slouch on offense. They're not a top-ranked team, but they do have, as far as adjusted efficiency numbers go, they have the 70th best offense in Division I. But they're going to be going up against the 25th best defense in Division I, and that's in the Auburn Tigers. Auburn, no slouch on offense. They're also averaging, their numbers, 110.7 on the adjusted efficiency on offense numbers go. That has them ranked 15th on our stats as far as top ranked Division I offenses go. And Furman, fairly decent on defense, coming in at 80th. In the top 25% as far as holding teams, but that's based off of level of competition that each team has played as well. So taking a look at the shooting, Furman hitting 53.2% from the field, as well as 56.2% for Auburn from the field. Auburn, an excellent shooting team in multiple categories except free throws. All right, guys, Furman hitting 33.3% from out deep. Auburn just a tad bit better than that, 35.3% from out deep. All the 2-point plays, Furman converting on 56.4% shooting, all their dunks, layups, and jump shots, and Auburn coming in even better than that at 58.7%. They're actually 6th best in this category, with Furman being 18th in all of Division I. As far as free throw shooting goes, give the edge to Furman. Hopefully Auburn doesn't get put on the line and depend on it to pull away or get an outright victory, because they're only knocking down 65.9%. They're almost 4% below the Division I average. However, they're only 7 games in the season, all right? They're only 7 games in the season. No doubt about it, Bruce Pearl's going to have his team working on free throw shots. No doubt about it. Furman coming in, hitting 76.1% of all their free throw attempts, but they're getting 11.8% of their shots blocked as well. Taking a look at point distribution, Furman relies on that 3 ball for 39% of the time. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be going up against an Auburn Tigers defense that holds teams to just 28.5% shooting from out deep. All right, now Auburn relying on 33.6% of all their 3-point plays as well. And, Furman, they've been in their face type of defense, not giving anybody open looks, holding teams to 29.7% shooting from out deep. So both teams should have a defense that's definitely going to keep them from getting open looks. Now, free throw shooting, Auburn relies on 18% of all their points scored to come from the free throw line. And they're only hitting 65.9%, so that shows a lot. They're going to be on the free throw line a lot. And I expect that to be the same today. Now, Furman, Bob Ritchie, he'll allow his Palladians to play with 2 fouls. That 2-foul participation protocol number is up there at 30.7%. And what that tells you is he's going to allow Noah Gruley, Clay Mounts, their big men. Their big men is 6'7" and 6'8". All right, they don't have the big caliber players, huge height advantage for Auburn. They'll be going up against 6'11" Austin Wiley, who is Auburn center. But this kid, his problem has been fouls. He had 2 early fouls against Georgia Southern, and Bruce Pearl doesn't allow his players to play. He doesn't allow his players to play. You pick up 2 fouls, you're going to ride the bench. That is a fact. And you take a look, and this is a kid. So far this year he's been in foul trouble, and you see it in his minutes. Played 20 minutes against Georgia Southern, 20 against Davidson. Only 10 in South Alabama. He fouled out early in that game. All right, he only had 10 minutes. He put up 10 minutes, 2 points, and he only ended up getting 1 look, and he went 2 from the free throw line. This is a kid that actually shoots fairly decent from the free throw line, especially being 6'11". In his first game, he went 3 from 5, 3 of 6, 2 of 2, 4 of 4. He hit 5 of 7 against Colgate, and that was a game where he actually played 18 minutes, and he had 18 minutes against New Mexico as well. So load management as well as foul trouble have the big kid riding the bench quite a bit. So it's going to be part of Bruce Pearl's program today is keep certain players on the court, and no different for Jovan McCormick. McCormick's going to be another kid that needs to stay out of foul trouble. He picked up 4 fouls against Georgia Southern, but he did play 29 minutes. This is a kid that Bruce Pearl's going to want to play into the 30s, 32, 35 minutes. He's going to want to see get out of McCormick, and the only way that happens is if he stays out of foul trouble. Same thing with Daughtry. He's going to want to keep Daughtry out of foul trouble. He's going to want to keep him on the court for 30 plus minutes. I mean, this kid's out of 7 games, he's been their MVP 4 times. He was their MVP against Georgia Southern. He played 32 minutes. He put up 20 points. Same thing against Cal State Northridge. He played 24 points in a blowout victory. He put up 33 points in 24 minutes. Same thing with Colgate in their blowout victory. He played 27 minutes, put up 20 points. He'd be in the 30-minute bracket if it was a closer game, and he was needed in there. Just like you saw against Richmond, he played 34 minutes, put up 22 points. He went 5 of 10 of shooting. He went 6 of 8 from the free throw line. He had 3 assists and 1 offensive rebound off the glass there, as well as 1 defensive steal. So this is a kid that actually could steal the ball. Out of 7 games, he's got, 10 steals so far. So, and this is not a kid that generally is going to be in foul trouble. He'll pick up some fouls late in the game. So Bruce Pearl should have an advantage with some of his players over what we see from Furman. So, and the key for Furman is going to stay out of foul trouble. Keep their starting 5, which is obviously their best players on the team on the court, and the only way they can do that is keep them from picking up that second or even third foul early. So, free play on the day for you guys. We're going to go roll right into it for you guys. Was a super long show. First of all, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button right now. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. We go live 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Today was a super long show because we did all but 3 of the conference championship football games this weekend. We did 3 of them yesterday. We did the remaining ones today. That took 2 hours all by itself, and then obviously Thursday night football, and then moving right into here. So super long, 3.5 hour show. I have no voice left, as you guys can tell. So for everybody that stuck with us from start to finish, thank you. For everybody that jumped in from time to time, thank you. For everybody that watches the archive version, thank you as well. And remember, guys, we already have 1 free play out there. It's in our daily free play video. You just got to go watch it after this. And if you want it after this, just go watch that video. Also, do us a favor over there. Drop us a comment. Give us a thumbs up. Help the comments as well as thumbs up. Help get our videos trending on YouTube. Help us build the channel. When we build the channel, that's when we're able to take on new things and give you guys extra things, much like, 5 Dimes giving you guys a free, actually it's because of them actually paying us, we give out a free UFC fight pick on every single UFC card. Free fight pick and write up on every single UFC card, courtesy of 5 Dimes, because we built the channel up because of you guys sharing the video, liking the videos, and getting us trending on YouTube, as well as hitting the subscribe button. So now we're going to be starting as well to email free plays every now and then. We might actually have something special, some new things in the works. I don't want to say it just yet, but if you haven't already done so, click that link down below, put in your email address, opt in there to get free plays by email from us. We'll start emailing free plays every now and then, as well as letting you guys know when we go live as well. We just started doing that new email list for everybody as well. So, it's definitely going to be a good time and some big things to come in the future, and something that you guys do not want to miss out on. All right. So I almost divulged. I almost let it be known on what we're going to be doing, and there's some cool things. Some cool things. So as far as a free play on for this live show, I'm going to get you guys on a free personal play of mine. Gave out a premium play last night. Going to give you guys a personal play today. And we just broke this one down for you guys.
So I probably already gave it away. If you guys weren't already aware. But free personal play, Auburn laying the 12.5. Put it on the screen. Put it on in the comment section as well. Simultaneously. Don't forget, guys, our Cyber Monday extended sale, that is going to be ending soon. Pick up a month of my personal plays for $5. It's $125 a week. Pick up 2 weeks, even better. Guys, 2 weeks for $250. You can pick up 3 months of my personal plays for a dime. That ends up being $87 a week. Absolutely ridiculous, guys. You get premium plays for $17 a day. People want to say we're expensive. We're not that expensive. Just take advantage of the sales. And I'm telling you guys, you want a big 3-0 today? Get on board today. Premiums are personal. I think we're going to sweep the board on all of them. Ryan says, bear down. Bears need this game more than the Cowgirls. I think they both need it the same. More so, actually, the Bears because they got the tougher schedule. James H says, don't forget my Shockers blowout tonight. Yeah, they definitely should blow them out, but 26 is a lot of points. 26 is a lot of points. If it's still at 26, might be even higher by now. Yeah, still laying 26. Minus 8,500 on the money line. So enjoy that game, guys. Let's make a boatload of money together. That's 2 free plays out there for you guys. If you want the other one, go watch that daily free play video. And it's definitely going to be a fantastic time tonight. Definitely hit this big play as well as the Thursday night football play that we put out. That we'll be bringing to you guys. Or that's already out there for you guys, excuse me. So make sure you guys don't miss out. Let's make a boatload of money. And I'm telling you guys, I look forward to working with each and every single one of you guys. It doesn't matter if it's just you guys are here for our free plays and the leans and the breakdown. Or you jump on board my personal plays or premium plays. I look forward to working with absolutely every single one of you. And, it's always a great time. Matthew was Auburn laying 12.5 in college basketball. And there's as well as free NFL play during our daily free play video. Thank you, Ian B90. Yeah, it's definitely right above. And again, guys, if you haven't already done so, please do hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already done so, as well as hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door if you haven't already done so. We were well over 100 people for a little while, and we've had a lot of people coming and going, and we're sitting at 73, so there's no excuses. We should definitely have way up there. So enjoy that free play, guys. Let's make a boatload of money. As Fast Freddy just said, now I need to go and gargle and save my throat because we've got another big show tomorrow. Guys, we'll be back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. We're going to break down all of the action. We'll take another live look ahead into the Pac-12 championship game, as well as all the college basketball, NBA action, and maybe some NHL action as well. So don't miss out, guys. Get on board. I look forward to working with each and every single one of you. And let's make some money tonight. All right, guys, take it easy. Good luck. Always bet within your means. Don't do anything stupid. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, guys. We'll see you guys live tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Have a blessed day.